right, I don't know how well this one's gonna go because I had a hell of a time trying to make this thing go live. But hello, crime stars. Um, I'm in I'm in the mood. I was accosted by yet another armed man, this time in his car, and he was in actual uniform, and I could read his name. Um, but if you look at the thing here, all right. So yeah, now I'm gonna carry this with me wherever I go. I asked them if he had an ID, and they always say they don't know. Like my cops are not trained. It's a lovely day, sunny, bright, hot, sunny day here on the lovely island of Maui, which is not in Washington, D.C. It was a trap. Did I tell you it was a trap? I told you it was a trap. Didn't I tell you it was a trap? I did. So the idea is that the Trump man really freaking is an evil genius. He blows my mind. Because look up CISA. There you go. The CISA. Those of you that are concerned that Biden's going to somehow pull off this coup and that Biden somehow won the election and the guy that couldn't put 20 guys in a room got more votes than one of the most charismatic black men that ever, and that guy's going to jail too. But yeah, Biden didn't do any of these things. The media did it for him. Big tech did it for him. Various operatives did it for them. And he is absolutely, positively going to send some of these guys to jail. Understand that there have been people that went to jail for 20 years for tampering with 20 ballots. 20 ballots. Or, excuse me, 200 ballots left off of zero. 20 years in the federal pen for tampering with 200 ballots. Okay. It's a lovely, lovely thing that we have going on here. Don't be of good cheer. All the women I talk to are like, I hope you're right. I hope. Don't hope. Understand that they absolutely, positively knew. We all knew. You knew. I knew. The parakeet knew. Everybody knew that they were going to cheat. So Trump is not. Like, they want to believe that Trump is some kind of dumbass that doesn't know what he's doing, a bloated turtle on his back flapping in the sun. I can't wait for Anderson Cooper to have to eat those words. But the idea is that, no, I'll put some links. I forgot to put links in the other video. I just never got back to it. But I'll try to put links on this one, and I'll try to remember to go put links on the video that I did previous to this. But the idea being is that, no, they dug a tiger trap, and the tiger fell into the trap. In fact, a whole bunch of tigers fell in the trap. Fortunately, they dug this tiger trap so freaking deep, you can barely see the bottom of it. But way down there in a smashed mess are a bunch of little rhino and Democrat tigers smashed to ribbons on the rocks below because they fell for the trap. They fell for it. They left a paper trail. Instead of trying to do it electronically where they flip the votes and so forth, they can check into that too. And I noticed that nobody's talking about the fact, I'm not going to mention the names because I don't have them at the top of my head, and I'll try and go find them. But nobody's mentioning the fact that, the United States has various software programs that we use to fuck with other countries. And they're not supposed to be used in the United States, but they were used in the United States to flip votes. The other thing that they're not going to talk about to any great extent, I'll talk about it a little bit without getting in trouble, is the fact that your printer puts all manner of information. They know where this came from right here. They know the name of this. They know what time I printed this. They know the serial number on that printer. They know the location it was printed. They know every fucking thing about that. I'm not going to tell you how they did it or how they do it, but by printing this document, if I give it to certain people with certain software, they are able to tell you all manner of stuff about this piece of paper. Which is yet another reason why you want to use one of these things. Well, maybe not a green one, but you might want to use, do I have one handy? Yes, there you go. Another green one. No. You want to use one of these things. Oh, definitely not pink. Look, I just got a bunch of pens here because when I take my notes. Anyway, you want to use a pen, a lovely pen to write your stuff because this is encoded and encrypted with all kinds of information. Well, guess what? So are the ballots. And now the people have been getting away with all manner of vote fraud in Pennsylvania. So they're legion. They're legend. Everybody knows that they cheat in Pennsylvania. They do it year after year, election after election, and they don't get caught. And now they're going to get caught. Because, see, the Republicans and the Democrats both use this thing called voter fraud to get their guys in. And so they've never done anything about the voter fraud at all. Now there's this other guy who isn't particularly a Republican or a Democrat, and they're trying to get him out because he's stopping the wars, did criminal justice reform, right? How many peace prizes is he up to? Well, he doesn't have them. He's been nominated for like 4 peace prizes, and on and on and on. Yeah, they hate this guy. The pharmaceuticals, everybody, they all hate this guy. He's, I won't say he's an outsider, but he's not doing the things that the deep state rhinos and Democrats would have him do. He's actually, see, it just so happens that the, what shall we say, agenda for some of the wealthy people that Trump is going to enrich happen to line up with the little guys. So they want you having jobs. They don't want you unemployed. They want you to have jobs. They want you registering to vote, obviously, 50 million new voters. I'll put a link down there, or there's another guy that's Stop the Pirates. He's seen right through this. The fact that UCC1 statements and they expire after 4 or 5 years, right? Like that, well, you can't see what I'm pointing at, but I have a thing there that is the trademark for Crouton Ramon's House of Math. Yeah, it expires every 5 years. I have to re-up it every 5 years. Well, same thing with you, because you're doing trade or business under that name, the name that's on your birth certificate, and you got to re-up it. And so you got to re-sign and let them know that you need representation. And then you should take a look at the adhesion that goes along with those voting contracts when you register to vote, so that you tell them that, yeah, I need representation and I'm cool with however this election goes. All right, so I'm going to read a few things poorly. United States declared bankruptcy and pledged all Americans as collateral against the national debt. Yes, they did. That's not conspiracy theory. This is a bankrupt corporation, and you are the pledgeling, right? You have been pledged. It confiscated all the gold. You remember that in 1933. You should probably read our history. Eliminated the means by which you could pay, right? So you can't pay with gold or silver anymore. You can only pay with debt. Debt doesn't cancel debt. It is also assumed. It also assumed legal responsibility for providing a new way for you to pay, and it did so by doing that, by providing what is known as an exemption from having to pay for anything. In practical terms, though, this means that each American, wait a minute. In practical terms, though, this meant giving each American something to pay with, and that something is your credit. There you go. All right, sorry. You have unlimited credit, basically, but you don't know how to tap it, and certainly they don't want you tapping it, do they? They don't want you knowing how to tap your credit. They don't want you knowing how to do the things some of us are trying to get you to do. And again, I'm not going to tell you to go through what steps or how to do it, right? That's above my pay grade. But I am going to tell you that, yeah, it's once you start to realize, wait a minute, that's a bankrupt corporation. Wait a minute, I'm chattel property. Wait a minute, right? There's stuff there's people you got to inform, things you got to do there's paperwork to be done. Now, I'm going to read this because it took me, see, when your cup is too full, you can't put more information in your cup. So you got to drain your cup and then add more information. So I've been looking at this for years, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And it was just, I couldn't understand it. It was above my pay grade. I couldn't get it through I couldn't wrap my mind around the concepts that are on these pages. This is just plain old regular Family Guardian. Any of you guys who have been fooling around with this know Family Guardian. But okay, so, and I'm just going to read off of this page. This is familyguardian.org, and I'll put the link below. When we say change your filing status, okay, because that's one of the things you need to do. You need to, one of the persons that you need to inform is the IRS, right? And it's the men and women in the IRS that you're going to inform that you're changing your filing status. So, and you're changing your filing status to, what is it? Non-resident alien. And see, Hawaii, Maui, the island I'm on, this island is not part of Washington, D.C. It's not inside Washington, D.C., except for in your mind. Now, so you're a non-resident alien. And I'm like, how can I be a non-resident alien? That doesn't make... Okay, now I'm starting to understand what the words mean. I'm alien to this government. I'm not, right? They are foreign to me. So you need to let them know that they're foreign to you. Now, here's the thing. You need to denumber yourself. You need to claim that estate. And Patrick and I will tell you, don't try to mix processes and stuff like this. But this is one where you deal with the IRS, and I can speak with experience dealing with the IRS, where you need to let them know that you are non-decedent, and that your individual master file should read MFR01, right? That code in there should read MFR-01. What else? And don't get too fancy and use a lot of words, as Carl says, right? So some of these documents, they just go on for days and days. They're too long. Where to go? You don't want to send a 25-page document. You want to send a short document that covers everything you need in a few words, fewest words possible, right? You want to Ernest Hemingway this thing. You don't want to be a Faulkner, right? You want to be a Hemingway, fewest words possible. Write the things that you need and then start taking words up. Anyway, all right, so let's read this to you. Actually, you can read it yourself, but just understand that these guys are on the same page, just a slightly different way of coming at it, and they are only talking about the IRS, all right? They're not talking about they're just talking about the IRS, that one agency, right? Informing them and getting your status changed. They're not talking about the guys in, like, say, the heavies, like the Department of State, right? The Secretary of State knew this is not what you do to the Secretary of State. This is not what you do to the Attorney General or the Assistant Attorney Generals or any of those guys. It's not what you do to your sheriffs or your police and so forth. This is for the IRS. Okay, so just to be clear. Now, you may, if you write your forms, you write your documents cleverly, you may want to include, well, this is what I sent to the IRS when you send documents to the Secretary of State or the Attorney General or whoever it is you're sending documents to, or the Vicar General. I got the page for the Vicar General. Oh, the other person I was going to talk about, oops, where is it? Is the United States Trustee. See, now in Hawaii, Curtis Ching is the Assistant U.S. Trustee. He's at 1132 Bishop Street, Suite 602 in Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813-2836. That's for Hawaii. If you're in another state, say, I don't know where you're from, I'll try to put this link up there and you can do it. And you're going to need to write these guys. Now, you're going to need to know what to say when you write these guys. And what you're going to talk about to the IRS is not what you're going to talk about to the trustee. What you're going to talk about to the trustee is the fact that you are, in fact, coming out from under the whore of Babylon. You are not a U.S. person. You have rescinded your voter registration. Oh, I know that's anathema to you guys, right? Because you had to vote. This is the most important election ever. And let them know that you need representation. Right. So already there's a whole bunch of people that aren't going to resend their voter registration. Look at this. People dropping off left and right. Oh, no, I certainly can't do that. But the idea is that, yeah, you got to let them know that you don't want to be a U.S. person anymore that needs representation. What you want to be, and I don't know, did I just drop off or something because everybody just died? Because I mean, like I said, this say something over here if you can still see me, because there's been plenty of times where it just cut me off and I didn't know I'd been cut off. The live stream had ended. But no, the number's going up, so it seems okay. But anyway, type something over here just for giggles. Oh, and you know what I can do now? I've gotten smart. Look at this. Hold on a second. Hold the phone. Bam. So I can put it in the chat now, and you guys can peruse these things while I'm talking to you. Amazing. Let's see here. I'm going to put it like that. And bam. Oh, look. All right. Can you guys see that? How about that last article I was just reading from? All right. You can. Good. All right. So then that's just the trustees. Let's see here. How about this article? Oops. How about this article? The one I'm going to read from right here and that you can look over. All right. We'll get that one and stick it in the chat. Look at me using modern technology. Well, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. And then I stick this over here like this. And I put this like this. And look, there's that one. Okay. So look, you got stuff to read along with while I'm doing it, not afterwards. And then let's see here. What else do I have here? How about this one? Like I said, you guys should know about Family Guardian. These guys are solid. They don't have videos, and you got to do a hell of a lot of reading, but they cite everything. I'm going to say some of them guys is wrong but true. And again, this is not the have all be all. This is not the only way to go about it. This is right. You got to be able to understand that you're going to say certain things in a certain method to these guys, and you're going to say certain things in a certain to those guys, and you're going right. Okay, so it's not just one blanket letter does it all. There's no fucking silver bullet here that I can see, and I've been studying for 19 years now. You got to write various and then you don't want to use their forms. You want to use your writing and understand how to use plain English to let them know that you're alive. How's that? All right. Wait a minute. There's more. Wait, there's more. Here's the Stop the Pirates article. I love this guy. I literally used one of his letters, and see, I've gotten to the point where I can actually gussy up some of the stuff that I get because I've done so damn much reading, and I can do the sites. And plus, we got the internets now, and you can actually put sites in there. But now I see the briefer, the better. But anyway, I actually had a credit company write me a letter of apology. That's a true story. I can get somebody to come here and vouch for me because she witnessed the thing. Because I'm like, watch me, just watch this. I'll show you. Because this is the person that declared bankruptcy, and I said, oh my God, if you'd known me, you'd know. Because no, there isn't any money. So all they did was fuck with you. And if you would have known that, you could have kept the money. And right, anyway. There's no honor among thieves. All right, so there we got a whole bunch of stuff for you to look over while I'm talking. Wait, is there more? There is more. And then I have to remember to put these underneath the video. Now here is Article 3 judges. Go look up the Article 3 judges in your state because these are people that you're going to have to let know what's going on and why you're doing what you want to do. There's a treatise on public offices. Pardon me. Fruits from poisonous tree. I already talked about that. Here's Carl. And I'll do this uncommon law. Do I want to do this one or this one? I think I'll do this one. Hold on. There it is. And he's doing uncommon law spelled with a K. There you go. So maybe you want to look at this guy and maybe you want to donate a couple bucks to him. And anyway, dig around this website and take a look at all the stuff that this guy's done. Interesting individual, to say the least. Like I said, study everybody and take what's good. Leave the rest behind. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people try to mix everything and then they wind up making a mess. But sometimes the stew can come out good. But you got to know what ingredients to put in the stew. All right. I don't know what the heck this is about. All of a sudden, I'm having a runny nose. I was fine until a second ago. Maybe it's the what do you call the fizziness from, this is not tea. This is actually, this is a kefir that I made. And it seems to be making my nose runny. Let's see here. Cool. All right. So I didn't cover that much in the beginning. I've only been on for, holy crap, 18 minutes. All right. Maybe I have been. All right. So the idea being is that, look, Trump, no fool. Everybody knew that they were going to cheat. Everybody knew that this was going to happen. And he had years to think of countermeasures to put in place to catch them and to make it so that they couldn't get away with this. All right. And I'll put, I should put some stuff. I didn't know Whitaker had a freaking YouTube channel. I was sure that he'd be taken down. I used to follow him on Twitter. We both got kicked off for various reasons. But he's trying to tell you in no uncertain terms to be happy. Be happy. And just smile and nod when your dumbass Democrat friends are telling you that there was no vote fraud and that Biden got the most votes of any president ever in the history of ever. And that, Trump's going down and he's this fat turtle on his back in the sun and blah, blah, blah. Just smile and wave, right? Just, okay. Because they're going to be shocked and amazed at what's coming. Because they left a paper trail. It was 100% a paper trail. They tried to do this with paper ballots. We can trace those paper ballots. There is a code that they put there. There is blockchain technology. There is the ability to smell out this vote fraud. And the vote fraud is going to cause a lot of Democrats, rank and file Democrats, the guys that aren't elected, the guys that are behind the scenes, bureaucrats and other people that have been in polling stations for years, rigging elections, are going to get busted and go to jail. That is a primary, what's the word I want? That was a primary objective, because how do you drain the swamp? How do you clean things out if they keep rigging elections for people that shouldn't get in? and for people that are pedophiles, and for people that will cover for pedophiles, and for people that will, right? Okay. And that means, I mean, I'm talking about elected officials from all levels, local, state, federal, right? Because they understand the system well enough. They created the fucking system where they can put a check or a balance. So they don't need masses of people. They just need one guy here. They need one guy there. They need one judge here. They need, right? Okay, so right, so they don't need to have a vast. It's a network, but they don't need to have all the bases covered. Just enough of the bases covered, right? So if you're a third baseman, umpire is always going to call you out, even when you absolutely got on the ball bag, and the guy picks up the ball and then he tags you and he calls you out. You're going to argue with the umpire? No. So, like I said, the idea, and are you going to make it are you going to make the home run, or are you going to make it to home base? No, you're not, because you had a person that stopped you on third base. Maybe they had a person that stopped you on, and maybe you take a look at that baseball thing and the symbolism in there, and the angles and all that fun stuff. But anyway, or maybe it's the second base guy, or maybe it's the first base guy. Or maybe it's the umpire where you're swinging the bat and he's calling you strikes even when you hit the ball. Or maybe, they're calling strikes even when it was way outside the box. All right. The idea being is they don't need a massive army. They need a few guys, and they need behind the scenes people you've never heard of, people that aren't elected, people, right? Bureaucrats. All right. These motherfuckers are going down. It's as simple as that. Like I said, he dug a tiger, to use the words of Whitaker, he dug a tiger trap that is hugely, it's huge, wide, and deep, and they skated around and fell in. And now they realize they're crushed and broken on the rocks. This was a last-ditch effort of a desperate, dying, there's full panic in D.C. They know what's coming. Do you think the laptop's just going away? Right? Do you think that they're going to sit back and let these guys say, oh, there was no voter fraud, oh, there was no, right? And then they're going to nail them, because they're going to be able to prove voter fraud beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, nothing stops what's coming. The pedophiles don't get away with it. So be of good cheer. Just be of good cheer. All right, that's the birth certificate one. And I put lots of stuff about birth certificates up on that, so because that's the genesis. That's how they got you in the first place. So you need to understand that and how that works. That doesn't mean you put all that information in your freaking paperwork. That means that you have an understanding, so you can explain it and you can understand it well enough to put a few words down that reflect that knowledge. Right? When you need to travel. I think. Wow, I'm having like brain farts today. I don't know what the heck is going on. I thought I was awake, but apparently not. And it's like freaking 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Patrick Devine is the name I was looking for. Well, how did that escape me? But anyway, Patrick Devine was talking about the fact that you need to know what the words mean and use the right words, because the statutes use one word. They try to tell you you're driving. You're not driving, you're traveling in the conveyance of the day, right? Not in a motor vehicle, which is subject to all those regulations and so forth. And the United States Supreme Court, right? Okay, excuse me. United States Supreme Court, the Supreme Court of the corporation, has said more than once that, yeah, you have the right to travel. You don't have the right to drive. You have the right to travel. Okay, so don't get confused. But the idea is that if you don't know what the words mean, they're going to fuck you. Just straight up, they're looking to fuck you. They're not on your team. You're not getting equity and justice out of these people. They are trying to extract wealth from you, and they want the slaves on the plantation, happy and in the cage, absolutely glued to their television sets, wanting to know what's going to happen with this most important election in the history of ever. Right? Okay, that's what they want. They don't want you understanding this information. All of these links right here. Okay, and like I said, for me, this was too much. I could not wrap my head around the concept of non-resident alien. And now I'm starting to see, okay, I get it. Now, I'm not going to use the terms, a lot of the stuff that's in here when I write to these people, but I'm going to understand that, yeah, I'm not a part of U.S. corporation unless I tell them that I am, and I sign contracts like voter registration forms and driver licenses and other things like that that make them think that I am indeed, because I have told them that they could administer my trust, and I've never mentioned ever once that my estate or my trust need to be under my control, and that you need to give me disclosure, and that we need an accounting here, and that all those secret agreements, secret liens, which amount to secret contracts without disclosure and without my consent. You may have your secret agreements and your secret contracts, but I no longer consent Here it is in writing. Here is a document that says I'm a living person. You had secret agreements and secret contracts that apply to the name in all caps that's on my birth certificate. What are we going to pick for this time? How about, I like John. John Q. Adams. Now, here's the thing with me. Oops. I have never done commerce ever with just my first and last name. It has always had my middle initial in there, at least, and usually my full name. All right, so I am the authorized representative, and I can show you a check that says on the check line that I'm authorized for this name, for the whole name in caps. And see, this is a trader business right here. And this trader business has UCC1 financing statements that put that trader, and then the other way around, Adams John Quincy and Adams John Q. I've always had a middle name. A middle initial or the middle name there. I've never just done John Adams, right? Okay, so, and John Quincy Adams would be able to explain this to you, I guarantee it, because he was one of the Masons that set some of this shit up. Anyway, let's see here. You are a person born within a state of the Union, and outside, I'm reading from FamilyGuardian.org, the one that says tax. The first one I put in there, tax freedom instructions. Okay, and by the way, I can vouch for this 100%. Not this particularly, but the fact that you don't owe the tax, and that if you let them know you don't owe the tax and you go about it the right way, you don't owe the tax. Because I haven't paid tax since 2001, I think was the last time, and I got a refund at that time because I was telling them, hey, I just figured out that I'm a dumbass this whole time and I didn't owe these taxes, and they agreed. But you got to do it the right way. I did it absolutely the wrong way. Couldn't have been more screwed up. But I managed to pull, what is it? From the clutches of defeat, I grasped victory from the jaws of defeat. But what you do a lot of times is you have victory and then you snatch victory and turn it into a defeat. But anyway, the idea is that you are a person born in the state of the Union outside of the exclusive federal jurisdiction. You are a non-resident, non-person. Now, see, you may want to qualify the non-person thing because there are two types of persons. There is the natural person, and by which I mean man or woman. And why don't you just use man or woman instead of person or non-person? Just call yourself a man or a woman, right? Fewest words possible. And you are a national under 8 U.S.C. Section 1101A21, and you are not a U.S. citizen as per 8 U.S.C. Section 1401. So you need, like I said, you need to be able to cite their laws. But as Carl and a couple of other people have said, and I think Patrick Devine too, as soon as it looks like you're going to win this thing, or as soon as you use all their statutes and stuff, are you a bar attorney? Are you part of the club? Well, then they'll just deny whatever it is. So you need to come in as a man and try not to use their legalese and try not to get all fancy and all the statutes and so forth. None of that applies. So you want to keep it simple. Claim your damn estate. Tell them that you are revoking their power of attorney. You're giving them notice of non-consent. And you can give them a few reasons, right? You don't really need to give them a reason. But let's see. The other day, I was crossing the street, and a cop tried to tell me that I had to put a mask on. Right? And I didn't have this with me. But I did. When he asked him for an ID, he said, do you have an ID? I said, do you have an ID? And kind of put him off. And he realized, well, wait a second here. And then anyway, we had a conversation. By the time it was over, I said, look, we're going to go to court and I'm going to wind up bankrupting this county. And people like me are going to wind up bankrupting this county. You know the order is unlawful. And he agreed. I'm not going to mention the cop's name again. But he goes, yeah, I've never written one of these tickets and I probably never will. But damn it, go put your mask on because you make me look bad. I'm standing right here. And I'm like, dude, you're driving in your car. All you had to do is press your gas, right? Because he actually stopped to let me go across the crosswalk. And then when I got across the crosswalk, he's like, where's your mask? I'm like, I'm outside in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't crossing the crosswalk with another person. I was by myself on a sunny day. Right? This is how crazy these people have become. They think that they can approach you if you haven't committed a crime and they're trying to enforce a rule or order. If you know what you're doing, you'll have their ass. But most of you don't know what you're doing. And I'm kind of sort of dying to test this out in a court of law. Anyway, shall I continue with this? Non-resident aliens can elect to be treated as residents under 26 USC. I don't. You need to know what an employee is and your federal numbers and so on. It's all in here. And like I said, more reading than, I mean, these links lead to links and those links lead to links and there's links to links. And oh my God, there's so damn much stuff here. It blows you away. I mean, it will take you, just this one page will take you hours and hours to get through if you read all of it. And there's PDFs and there is, I mean, there's the statutes and so forth. And again, this is just background information to educate yourself with. You're not going to put all this shit in your documents. Don't. Right? Don't even cite the codes, none of that stuff. But you need to know what the codes are because they're going to try and apply them to you. Wait here. I saw something great here that I wanted to read you. There you go. Tell them that you're a taxpayer, and that basically tells them that they can come rape you, beat you, abuse you because you don't want any of your rights because you decided that you're a taxpayer. I'm not a taxpayer. And I told them that that's a word that you guys made up. And just because you call a fucking dog's tail a leg doesn't make the dog's tail a leg. Let's just continue to point that out to people because they will tell you that you are a defendant. You are not a defendant. Unless you decide that you are, unless you sign that you are. See, because let's see, take on this document right here. The only thing that's not in a box is where I would supposedly sign this thing, and that thing in red right there. Right. Okay, so that says that I'm signing that, yeah, I'm a defendant. I'm not a defendant. I haven't done anything wrong. Let's see here. I wanted to read this one to you directly. This is the other one from Family Garden. An individual is a non-resident alien if such individual is neither a citizen of the United States, get rid of the Family Guardian people, citizen of United States, that's corporation, right? Get the out of there. They don't deserve the, they didn't give you the, they don't call themselves the, they don't put the in there. It's just United States, U.S. person. Doesn't say the United States person. It just says United States person. Non-resident of the United States, again, they put it there. Within the meaning of subparagraph A. This is the first thing. That's 26 USC. And by the way, 26 USC, is that positive law? Why no? 26 USC is not positive law. It applies to a certain class of people that you have to tell them that you are. Let's see here. And if you don't know about positive law, you should probably go take a look at that. There was a thing in here about persons and the fact that the government had not defined person. And now I can't find it suddenly because I'm, of course, on camera. Let's see here. But it was in here. Anyway, you got the link. You can find it for yourself. But because it has all these different court cases and so on in here, Russell v. Bush and so forth. And it talks about anyway, there's all kind of fun stuff in here. But again, this is for your edification and for your education, not for you to regurgitate to other people to show how smart you are. And those other people I'm talking about are the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, your sheriffs, your police officers, etc. They don't care, right? So you need to know this stuff, but it doesn't mean that you're going to regurgitate it for, for others. You just need to have it in your back. And now, here's the other thing. A lot of this stuff doesn't apply. But at the same time, study everything so you know what's going on. And the guy that I would study the most is a guy named Patrick Devine. Find his stuff, find his videos. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Watch those things. And then he's the same way. He tells you, go read this. Go look up the definition of that word. Go look up the definition of this word. What does traveler mean? What does driving mean? What is, this stuff like that. And also person, not define person. Right? And so when they call you a person, they're pretty much telling you, they're pretty much making it pretty clear that they're talking about this, right? You think they're talking about this, right? And this is the thing. Your Christian name is that much. That's your family or inherited name. And you stick the two together and you've got a trader business. This right here is a man. Or a woman. Well, in this case, obviously, I guess there could be a woman named John, but in this crazy world that we're living in. But overall, John Quincy would be a man's name, not a woman's name. But anyway, this is a man or a woman right here. These two names. Okay. So then that's where a lot of you see these guys come up with something like John, and they'll do the hyphen, and there's a reason for that hyphen, Quincy, and then they'll do this. And then they'll put Adams. That punctuation actually makes a difference. That right there is huge. And that right there is also huge. Let's talk about that again. What does this do? Did you learn this in school about the fact that a hyphen joins two words together and makes it one word? It's a new word, right? Like non-assumpsit, right? As opposed to assumpsit. Like, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But again, I showed this to you last time. What do that say right there? Well, I hope it's the right way. Well, one thing, it says defendant right there. But what does it say? That says state of Hawaii criminal. That doesn't say state of Hawaii, and then criminal is another word. It says state of Hawaii criminal. Hawaii criminal is one word. So this is not their style of process for the state of Hawaii. They trick you into thinking that it is, and what they're trying to do is get you to sign a piece of paper that says you're a defendant. But the style of process, and I posted a video and put all kind of links underneath it, where you can look up your style of process for your state. Look up your style of process for your own state. Just put it in the YouTube, or not YouTube. Even Google will show you that, but your search engine shouldn't be Google. At this point, by now, it's pretty clear big tech is naughty, and they are not on your team, and they are not your friend. And they're trying to declare it for, right? And this is the thing. Media does not pick the president. Votes, actually, the popular vote doesn't pick the president either. Who picks the president? Oh yeah, the electors. There's your first clip. All right, so it's going to be right here. So I can tell you, I'm just going to cite it again for anybody that's watching this so that they know I've done my homework if they turn out to be, yeah, see, look, I wrote it in big letters right there. What's the style of process? The big orange thing tells you. There it is. Their own, that's HRS, right? That's the Hawaii Revised Statutes 601-15. Style of process says the state of Hawaii. Certainly doesn't say the state of Hawaii criminal. Why is style and process important? Okay, process violations. Okay, and again, so you might want to get the knowledge out of this little book right here, little tiny thin book right here, because what they're doing is grammar fair and lawfare. And what they're hoping is that you're an ignorant slave that doesn't know how to stand on his rights, doesn't know how to stand his ground, doesn't know how to anything. What do we got here? No. Hi, smiley faces and other stuff. But it's good though, because like I said, I see 15 people here now, and I never know if they've cut this thing off or not. I can be talking, and then suddenly I realize it's not recording anymore because the live feed, they don't censor me. Like I said, I felt very, what's the word I want? Like I'm not doing my part because I'm still able to make videos on YouTube. Meantime, everybody else I know got kicked off. I'm like, where is everybody? SGT is gone. Amazing Polly's gone. Greg Hunter's still here. Gregory Manarino's still here. Gregory Manarino. Oh, that's it. You should listen to. You should listen to what that guy has to say because he's a Mason, 32nd degree, I believe, and he tells you kind of sort of like how it is, but Masons always twist it. So, by the way, he's picking up for Biden. He's false, and he won't bet you. This is the other thing. Everybody on Facebook that's going on and about Biden won and Biden is the clear. I was like, all right, you want to bet? You want to wager? Even at this late date, I'm still willing to wager with you. Right, $100. Nobody will put their money where their mouth is. Nobody, because they don't seem to understand that and this is why I hate Democrats. I hate them. I'm not gonna be. I like them, and we still have to work together, and we're gonna. No, I won't let them around my friends, around my children. I won't be friends with them. I will not teach them mathematics. I will not do commerce with them. None of that, because the man's a pedophile, and they decided to look the other way. He's corrupt as fuck, and we have all manner of information about that. They looked the other way on that. And now blatant voter fraud, and they're trying to say that there was no voter fraud. All right. So they can't recognize a cheater. These are the people that raise children that cheat on their tests. These are the people that raise, anyway, yeah. Democratic Party's over. And Trump has made it very clear, I think, if you don't believe me, go back and listen to a couple of the speeches, that the public airwaves are the public airwaves, and to use the public airwaves, you need a license. And if you're using the public airwaves to deceive and lie to the people, maybe you're going to lose your license. Just saying, because they're not allowed to use the. Yep. Yeah, they got drain damage. Because yeah, why do they have brain damage? Because they've been watching mainstream media that's been lying to them for years and years and years, and it doesn't matter at this point. Did the media tell you that he was up 12 points in this state and 6 points in the other state, and then it turned out not to be true, and in fact they stopped counting. It's because I wasn't watching mainstream media when this happened. But they stopped counting when he was hundreds of thousands of votes ahead in Pennsylvania, hundreds of thousands of votes ahead in Wisconsin, hundreds of thousands of votes ahead in Michigan. Yeah, and then just suddenly stop counting. Like suddenly you refresh the page and there are no more updates. And then all of a sudden, all these votes come in from the next day. They wouldn't call it for Trump. And then the next day at 4 a.m, more ballots come in. And see, again, it's kind of theater. It's kind of, you got to admit that it's kind of theater. Do you really think that they were so stupid that one, as many of the Democrats are trying to use, like, oh, this is not, there was no cheating because wouldn't they have stolen the Senate and the House too? Well, actually, no. And also they try to say, oh, there's no, I mean, they're just so ridiculous. It's painful. But anyway, they're trying to say that there's no cheating. There was cheating. It's pretty clear that there was cheating. The idea is that they don't care, right? They don't care that there was cheating. They look the other way, just like they look the other way with pedophilia, and just like they want to lap up the stuff that the mainstream media dumps in their brain, right? It's basically kuka, and they still just, they love that stuff, right? And then they turn around and repeat it to you. I have it happen to me all the time, that wearing a mask is it's not for you, it's for others. Bullshit. I mean, bullshit. Bullshit. And the state of Hawaii seems to not recognize that California had their orders overturned, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin with Whitmer, no, not Whitmer, but Wisconsin, several, more than a few states. I can't remember. It was Massachusetts for sure. And I believe Newsom, or not believe, and Newsom, and anyway, several other states. And that's called res judicata. It's already being decided in other Supreme Courts that, yeah, the governor doesn't get to make rules and orders and tell you what to do. He can't tell you what to wear. Simple. And these poor police officers, like I said, I was talking to this police officer, and he knows it's an unlawful order. He knows it violates his oath to the Constitution, right? And again, he's party to that. I'm not party to that. He's party to that because he's supposed to be, with this private corporation, upholding my rights, my basic fundamental rights. Simple things like being able to cross the street without being molested by armed men, right? Because he's saying, where's your mask? I don't need a mask. I'm walking around outside. Anyway, so, but our mayor says that you have to wear a mask. And further, in this state, and see, they don't seem to understand that they're going to get bankrupted in the state of Hawaii. They haven't thought this thing through. And I've seen this, several people have said the same, is that some of these guys, they're like dogs. They only live in the moment. They can't see what happens in the future. So now what they've done is they've destroyed their tax base. In this state in particular, they've destroyed their tax base. Where are they going to get the money from? Where are they going to be able to graft and greed now when they don't have any more tourists to revenue money from? Because there's very few tourists in the state. And the ones that are coming here, there was a bunch of people, I think 4 of them from New York, or maybe 6 of them from New York. They didn't go quarantine like they're supposed to, because if you come to Hawaii, you can go to your hotel room for 14 days and you have to stay at your hotel. You may not leave the hotel, right? Okay, there's your vacation in Hawaii. So you better pick a good hotel that has a beach in front of it. And even then, you got to be wearing a mask at the beach. And if you're a tourist, you probably should be quarantined. And anyway, these guys didn't quarantine. $14,000 bail, and they took them to jail, right? Every second that if those guys have decent lawyers, every second that they were detained, they're going to get $1. How many seconds was that they were detained? Because that means 60 seconds. That's $60, right? 5 minutes starts turning into money. 10 minutes, an hour. How many seconds in an hour? How many seconds in a day? So they hold these people for 1 or 2 days, right? And then put their bail. Anyway. This county, it's going to be time to move because they won't be able to afford any services because they're going to get bankrupted from the stupid shit that they've done. Simple as that. In state after state. But see, we're out here as far outside the United States as you can be and still be inside the United States, technically. And, right, because I'm on the island of Maui. The island of Maui is not in Washington, D.C. Simple as that. But anyway, the idea is that they try to make you think it is with zip codes and other things and other chicanery and bullshit that you often can't see through. And then... but there's more and more people waking up, And they also arrested another woman for not wearing a mask at a Trump rally here, or I don't know if you call it a Trump rally, a sign waving. They actually arrested this woman. So I believe that one woman alone will be able to bankrupt this county. There was a guy that sued the county. Oh, crap. I can't remember the county. It wasn't Hawaii. It was, anyway, long story short, he won 900 and something. And this is court judgment. This wasn't, right? $980 million or some ridiculous number like that. And the guy was only in for like the weekend, from like Friday to Monday. Right? It was like $900 million. So yeah, there's danger in opportunity. There's opportunity in danger. Okay, so basically, I put the links here. I wanted to read you some of this stuff. Find me a definition for person, if you can, from the government in a statute that defines a person. That right, they're very slow to define person, but they'll tell you that it's corporation, it's a trust, it's a this, it's a that. But they're pretty slow to tell you that it's a man or a woman. So you need to declare yourself as a man or a woman, and the fact that you have no contract with them, and that you're not a taxpayer, and that all these different things that they try to call you, right? Many names to confuse you, because you do. You have unlimited capacity contract unless you sign that capacity away. You have unlimited capacity, right? You can be your own judge. You can be a mom. You can be a businesswoman. You can be a CEO. You can be a businesswoman CEO, and you can hold a public. You can hold an office in a state, right? I mean, there are people that, yeah, they put their business on hold. I have a friend that just won a council seat, and she's going to be a council member, but she also has a business. So, anyway, unlimited capacity, you have it. Unlimited credit, you have that too. With your unlimited capacity and your unlimited credit, you should be able to make this world a happier place. All right. So I'm going to leave a few things. Oh, and I'll put some links from Thomas Whitaker underneath here. Do I have a couple videos up? I think I closed them all. So I'll put them up later. But the idea is that, yeah, he basically spells it out for you that you should be happy because these guys got busted royally. And the idea that they are somehow going to get away with this is poppycock. Oh, that was the other thing. Risk management office name and address. Well, why are you going to inform risk management? Well, like I was just telling you, risk management kind of sort of needs to know in the county, in the state, so that you don't ambush them, because you're being a gentleman. You're standing on your square. And remember, Satan is a gentleman, right? Lucifer is a gentleman. Always has been, always was. That doesn't, right? He's not a marauding, barbarian, murderous thief. Satan is an absolute gentleman, right? Lucifer is an absolute gentleman. So you need to be cordial with these people, right? They have been, what's the word I want? Untoward. They have been fraudulent. They have, it doesn't matter. Let it go, right? But you stand on your square. You stay on your square. No mischief in your contracts. Don't step off your square so that you can get into mischief with their contracts. And the idea is that, yeah, risk management needs to know that, by the way, you guys keep this up. The constitutional violations are $25 million. The charge for detaining unlawfully or illegally is $1 a second. And that's where you need to send your fee schedule in ahead of time. Right, so right, so they know in advance, and I'm going to put my fee schedule on the back of this, right? And I'm going to handwrite it. I'm not going to print it out, not because I'm scared or anything, but like I said, just this right here. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you how they do it, but it's in there. It's encoded in there. The serial number of that printer, the serial number of the computer it came from, the date and time, the location, all manner of information is encoded right here in this paper. Now that I put print on it, right? Not to mention that they put watermarks on a lot of ballots so that they could trace those. And not to, I mean, like I said, can't get too deep into it because I'll get in actual trouble for that. Not just Facebook trouble or YouTube trouble, but I mean, people will come say hi. So I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention codes. I'm not going to mention any of that shit. But the idea being is that, make no mistake, your government tracks every fucking thing you do. I mean, like everything you do. Whether it's this, and this is the other thing, fucking A. If they're doing it to us, you think they weren't doing it to Hillary. You think they weren't doing it to Biden. You think they weren't doing it to Obama, right? Oh, no, that's just for little people. No. That was for everybody. Everybody was being surveilled. So they know. They know And now it's going to become clear that they know, and they're going to let them know, and then everybody's going to know, and now there's going to be like a serious shitstorm shit show is coming. But try to remember also that, okay, I'll tell you a story, another story. My son finally just got a super duper cool gaming laptop that we've been trying to get a laptop for him for freaking almost 2 months now. Why is it taking 2 months? Because the first one that he tried to order, he ordered off of eBay, and the person was a complete and utter scammer. So here is, oh shoot, do I have that? I think I put it away. But anyway, they sent us a priority envelope, empty, just a priority envelope, but then it's got a tracking number on it. So it looks like it's being shipped to you, doesn't it? Right? Okay, they didn't send a computer. The guy's a total scammer. All right, so got the money back from him. But even when I explained everything to the guys at PayPal and so forth, and see, that's the PayPal guarantees and so forth, and eBay guarantees, they come in handy, understand those contracts. If it's a scammer, they'll get your money back, and then they'll try to get the money back from the other guys, right? They'll withdraw the funds and so on. But the idea is that, yeah, it took 10 days, right? They said, right, we're going to notify him today. The guy has 10 days to respond, right? Okay, same thing. You got to understand that law. That's the I've talked about that, right? Where three, right? The first you send notice, then right. So you send whatever the declaration is or whatever the notice is and so forth, and you have 10 days to respond, right? And usually it's going to be, and I put the thing on my. Oh, I'll put it again. Hold on a second. I have it here so that you can look at it if you want to. Is it here? Nope. Is it here? Nope. That one? Yes. All right. So, oh, look, and this is familyguardian.org again, PDF. I didn't realize that until I just noticed. But anyway, you are going to do a conditional acceptance, right? And you got 10 days to respond or 30 days to respond, depending on what process and what you're doing. And then you send them a, now I got to find me again. There I am. All right. Then you send them a notice of default with opportunity to cure, and then you finally send them a notice of default. But anyway, after 10 days, we got the money back. All right, undaunted, that was our bad. And so you can look at that and see the 5 ways to respond to resentment. But we went back to eBay, and this time we made sure the guy had plenty of positive feedback. Ordered a computer from him, and no computer after a week, and he said he tendered a package and he printed a shipping label, but he never gave the post office a package. And because he had printed a shipping label, my post office over here opened up an investigation and saw that, yeah, he may have printed a label, but it never made it to a post office. In other words, there was no scan that said that he had put it in at his local or anywhere, right? And he was writing me bullshit emails. And so anyway, so finally, again, I said I would like my money back. And he didn't respond. And then I went to eBay and said I didn't get the item and so on and so forth. And instantly he responded. But I had talked to a person on eBay. And that's moments in my life sitting on hold where they said, yeah, he'll have 10 days to respond. Okay. So when they put this stuff in, they'll have 10 days to respond. So none of this is happening instantly. So them calling it for Biden is ridiculous because they haven't even gone through the 10 days to respond yet. Right? And they didn't respond instantly. And they haven't even been noticed that we got them dead to rights cheating. And by the way, we got this, right? We got watermarks, and we got this, and we got that. We have whistleblowers. We have, okay. So we're still in the 10 days. Hasn't even started. What's the date today? It is only the 7th. So yeah, the election it's not been 10 days. So give it 10 days. And then you're really going to see a shitstorm. So be of good cheer. I'm telling you. Understand you co-creating here. And if you're sitting there worried that everything, right? Okay, so don't be of good cheer. Lift up your mind. Of all these women telling me, oh, I hope you're right. Don't hope. Expect. Right? Expect that these pedophiles are going to be taken down. Expect that the truth and justice is going to come to pass. Expect that you guys aren't going to put up with this bullshit anymore so that the next election, this doesn't happen. Voter ID in person, period. Right? And if you need exceptions to that, there will be exceptions made if you really want to vote that hard, but in person with an ID. And they have now blockchain and all kind of stuff in place so that when there's cheating, they can do it. And they knew there was going to be cheating. They all knew there was going to be cheating. So if you think that Trump was just like going to be surprised by this and sit on his ass, you're fooling yourself. The man is, whatever you say about him, he's not a dumbass. And so he was planning for this, not just him. And when I say Trump, you got to understand it's an organization. It's not just one man. There's a bunch of very clever individuals, some of them autistic, that are in the Trump administration, whether it's DOJ, FBI, CISA, NSA, Naval Intelligence, multiple generals from all Space Force, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army. All of them are some fairly brilliant minds. They understand the concept of espionage. They got shit that would make me sound like a crazy person if I talked about it. Like I said, when it comes to how they do this, and they have little tiny cameras that can be mounted on drones. Anyway, they have all manner of surveillance, and they knew what was going on. And they broke some of that, and Project Veritas broke some of that. Anyway, so what they're going to do is box them into saying that, oh, no, there was no fraud. And then they're going to come back and show that, well, yes, indeed, there was some fraud. In fact, there was massive fraud. In fact, there had to be such massive fraud that they had to blatantly cheat. And when you blatantly cheat, you get caught. Right? If you subtly cheat, that's one thing. But when you blatantly cheat, and they blatantly cheated, you're going to get caught. And this time, it's not a Democrat or Republican that's catching them. See, because like I said, in the past, every single time, it has always been, no, they don't want to expose the other side because they all do it. The Republicans and Democrats all do it. And they have an agreement because they're ruling you. Anyhow, what else we got here? Yeah, there you go. Quit freaking out. And it is treason. It is absolutely treason. And like I said, a lot of these guys are going to jail for a long time. Ballot tampering is a felony. There you go. No parking tickets. We don't really have that much of a problem, but no, what they were doing was, well, let's see. You got a hotel, we got a hotel room tax. You got to rent a car, we got rent a car tax. You want to buy gas, we got a 4% sales tax on the gas that you put in your car. You know how much revenue that was a day? Gone. Like I said, they didn't think this through. They didn't think the election. These Democrats, oftentimes when they're sociopaths or psychopaths, they're 100% in the moment. Right? They don't see what's going to happen tomorrow. They just deal with everything in the moment. So they don't see where things are going to go. They can't, as I say, see beyond the end of their nose. So when they do some of the nefarious things that they do, one, they don't expect to get caught because they know that they got fixers in place in certain, like I said, positions of power, bureaucrats, people that aren't elected. Some of them are elected, but people that will fix things, fixers for them. So there's that they're used to. And they're used to not getting spanked. They're used to getting away with everything. Again, they never thought that Hillary would lose. So now they put their game on and try to make it to take the White House back. They ain't getting the White House back. Promise. Anyway, the idea being, though, is that we are going to see a serious shitstorm coming up here. Pretty confident. But it takes some time. You can't just expect it to happen the very next day. Same thing when it comes to that laptop. You think there's not going to be any charges because of that laptop? They told you that they've had an investigation into money laundering at least since last year. And again, you got to build your case. You got to make sure it's airtight. It's got to be beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. It can't just be like, well, we think this guy was laundering money. Right? And here's a couple of receipts. Right? No, it's got to be, everything's there. So it's beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. Same thing. Treason. Treason is not a petty thing. It's not a petty misdemeanor. It's the highest form of felony. It is absolutely can be a capital offense, depending. Okay, so if you're going to charge somebody with treason or pedophilia or all these high crimes, you are not going to just do it in a way that is not airtight. So it takes time to build an airtight case. Ask any I have numerous friends that are prosecutors. Sometimes he watches this even. But I have one guy, he's been on the prosecuting attorney for like 28 years now, since we were children. He's been a freaking prosecuting attorney since he got out of college. And he will tell you And he's known, right? There are people that don't like him, but they'll all, the one thing that will be said repeatedly, you'll always hear it, is the guy's fair, right? For in the situation, he tries to be fair, right? And you can see he's trying to be fair. Okay, so as a prosecutor, he is well respected. I still have a problem for putting people away for growing plants and so on. And oh, did you see this? And I should put that in there. Portland, Oregon in general, did decrim on the hard drugs, right? And everybody's like, oh no, look at those crazy Democrats. Oh no, in this case, one time they actually freaking got it right. Go look at Portugal, because they said the same thing to Portugal, and many countries tried to come down on them. But Portugal decriminalized heroin and cocaine, and they've had wild success. Their decriminalization program has been wildly successful. Overdoses have gone down. Number of people in treatment have gone, everything. Drug use has gone down. Everything's gone down once they started decriminalizing. All right, so one state down. And then the other thing you'll see, oh, I should have pulled that up for normal, is that state after state now, I believe it was 9 different states now had did some kind of marijuana reform, right? And it's not marijuana, it's cannabis. And it's not legalization, it's re-legalization, because it used to be legal, and then they made their statutes make it illegal. And a lot of the doctors didn't realize that they thought cannabis was safe because it was a well-known drug that, not drug, but okay, we can call it a drug, a distillate, if they're using it in distillate form. But or concentrated form, that was excellent for seizures, was excellent for all these different things. And they knew that it was effective, and they couldn't even conceive of the fact that the government would make it illegal. And they didn't realize that cannabis and marijuana was the same thing. That's one of the ways they pushed it through, right? Many names, right? They even fooled our doctors with the many names thing, calling you a defendant, calling you a person, calling you a, right? Okay, I'm a man, done, right? Not a defendant, not a U.S. person, not a taxpayer, not a driver, not for hire, not on and on and on. Okay, but see, but those are all synonyms they'll try to use. Synonyms they'll try to use to confuse you and get you to sign your rights away. Okay, so the idea is that these guys have managed to make one of the most wondrous plants on the planet when it comes to, I mean, the thing has 1,001 uses, available only to them, because they removed it from the masses. And you know that there are plenty of people that were using it in the government, and they were never worried about them being busted by it, because they are quote unquote above the law. They're not, but they are. So it was the laws for the little people to get a lot of you into prisons and so forth for growing plants, and then made them huge amounts of money, because you have an intercannabinoid system where you have receptors that only receive, nothing else, is either Nigella Sativa, which is black seed oil, or cannabis sativa, which it only, those receptors only will receive sativa or indica cannabinoids, terpenes and other things. Anyway, but the cannabinoid system. Okay, so when they starved you of cannabinoids, yeah, you got shakes, you got palsies, you got all manner of diseases, because it's an essential nutrient. Okay, and that's why you see so many people have instant success, right? Instant results when they put the cannabinoid. No, I can't say it. The cannabis, the cannabinoids, back into the system, and it repairs things almost instantaneously. Problem is, it only does it for a little while because you've been so starved, right? Used to be intergenerational. You got it from your mom and your dad because they had eaten cannabinoids of all kinds, because the animals that they ate had cannabinoids in them. The plants that they used had, right? So the idea is that, yeah, without the cannabinoids, you suffer. So what do? They give you poison in the allopathic thing. Here, have our pharmaceuticals to treat that palsy. Have our pharmaceuticals to treat whatever that disease is that you're suffering from because you are lacking an essential nutrient, which is, you know, in the cannabis family. Also, Linus Pauling told you that all these things, and see, I've made many videos on health and so forth, but most of the problems can be traced to a lack of a certain nutrient. And I started doing some research and practicing on myself, and turns out, yeah, I was a little deficient when it came to magnesium and manganese. I noticed a difference when I started adding manganese into my regimen. Here, I'll show you. It's right here. I don't keep it far away. Where is it? Right here. Oops, and I'll show you this one. Oh, and I'll show you this one. All right. Ooh. That was almost an accident. All right, here we go. Look, Ionic Manganese. A lot of people are manganese deficient. A lot of you are. Turns out. I think I was too. Because you don't get it from your soil. You don't get it, right? Your soil has been depleted since the 30s. And then there's magnesium. Again, this is just liquid drops. You put it in your kefir, put it in your tea. You won't even taste it. Put it in your water. Makes your water taste. This actually makes your water taste delicious. People noticed. My water tastes good. And then this stuff right here. This is Nigella Sativa, right? So it is a relative of the cannabis sativa. And the Prophet Muhammad told you that this is the cure for everything except death. And I've seen it do amazing things, either topically on your hair, for your skin, but also orally, up your nose. I had allergies. Oh my God, I had allergies. All right. This will burn like a mofo when you put it in your nose, but I did it for 90 days and now I don't have allergies, hardly at all. And my son refuses, and occasionally he gets an allergy attack. And then finally one day he was having just a horrifying allergy attack, and I just bawled him out instead of being, gentle, happy dad that was like, oh, poor thing, you're sneezing. And I have empathy because, like I said, I had allergy attacks right from the time I was a child. But I started making him do this, and lo and behold, he hasn't had an allergy attack since he started, right? Twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And you don't have to put huge amounts of it. You just put a dropper full, right? And this is iodine. You definitely wouldn't want to put this up your nose. But anyway, just like a few drops, right? Like it doesn't have to be a huge amount. A few drops of this up your nose, allergies go away, right? Like 90% of the time. Doesn't work for everybody because nothing works for everybody. But if you go take a look at black seed oil for allergies, go take a look at some of the studies, and you'll be amazed at the results, right? I mean, people that had severe allergies after 90 days, gone, like none, like no longer a sufferer, kind of like me. And I had this one friend and she has a friend who has some goats who live in a happy pasture up in Kula in the green grass. And that pasture has a bunch of what's called fireweed. And the goats kind of sort of like the fireweed. But when they eat the fireweed, it makes them sick. And they get, it causes problems in their intestines and all kind of stuff. So she wants the fireweed out of the pasture. So she's been paying me $25 an hour and my son $20 an hour to just go into the pasture and pull weeds, these fireweeds. And you can pull them out by the root. And the goats have already eaten all the tops off, so there's no seeds there. So anyway, you pull them by the root and they won't come back. And now it's going to be cane grass and it's not going to be fireweed. Point being, though, is that that kind of fireweed generally would set me off, right? Generally would make it so that I had allergies because that plant, I was tested as a child for what I'm allergic to, and that's on the list. I'm pulling fireweed all day long. No allergies. Come home, fine. Done. No issue, right? 100% because of that. Okay. Look, I'm all over the place today in 1 hour. I think I'm going to quit right here. Thanks for all of your support. Thanks for everything. I may come back later today or tomorrow and cover a little bit more of the things that are here. But take a look if you are just joining or you just got here. Go scroll on the chat feed and you can see all the links that I put up there, right? I don't usually put links, but I just got wise. And I'll try and take the links and put them underneath here so that they're there for posterity, because a lot of times, if you notice on my videos, or I don't know about with you, but with me, I go back and I can't see the chat. I can see the video and I can see comments on the video, but I can't see this chat that shows up. Not all the time, and I'm not sure why that is. Okay, is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, here's some words. Constructive trust. What is that? Right? And I talked about it last time, is that equity will not let a trust fail for lack of a trustee. So you fire that trustee doesn't mean that you got rid of the trust. Patrick Devine will tell you about that. What you want to do is move it. And what you want to do is fire this son of a bitch that has been the problem the whole time. You can vote by proxy for them. Oh, shoot. I'm not going to show you that. But just take one of your checks. If you have a checking account, look on your checks, take out one of these things, and look at your signature line. What you thought was a signature line. No, that's microprint. Microprint is a thing. And it says authorized representative because you are the authorized agent for this name, right? But that name isn't you, and they've got you mind-fucked into thinking that your name and you are the same thing, that the man and the name is the same thing, and the man and the name not the same, right? Calling a dog's tail a leg does not make the dog's tail a leg. Many names does not make you a defendant, does not make you a taxpayer, does not, just because they say you are, does not make you a driver. Well, now we have a problem with the driver thing because you went down and filled out a form and signed your name that you needed a license to drive. So now you kind of told them that you're a driver. So maybe you need to fix that. Same thing with the car. They give you usufruct of your car when you register it to them. They give you usufruct of your guns when you register your guns. They give you usufruct of your property when you register your property, and you are listed as a tenant on the documents. What happened in 1933? It's not bullshit. In 1933, they took it all, but they gave you unlimited credit. So now it's time to claim your credit, and they don't want you to, right? Because what are you going to do with your credit, huh? Hookers and cocaine? Is that what you're going to do with your credit? Probably. That's what Biden did, right? I mean, those of us without the first, what is it? Well, those of us without sin, throw the first bud, right? Because I know a lot. It just would go, I'm going to buy all the weed, right? Okay, no. What you want to do and see, this comes with responsibility. And I can tell those of you that fucking don't understand the concept of you claiming yourself as a man or a woman so that you have inalienable rights that are protected by these public officials, these public servants that serve the public, from private corporations that operate in the public. What you want is that unlimited credit so that you can go help your fellow man, not so that you can have a nice house and a fucking fancy car, which is allowed, of course. But along with that, also, you go feed people that are so fucking slovenly that they can no longer feed their children, right? And there's a ton of that. And see, it's not all their fault, as you have seen, right? Some of these guys, and I know. And see, it hurts my feeling, and I'm going to start spitting and getting angry. So I'm going to take a breath. I know a lot of men and women that have never been on unemployment, never had to make a claim to the government, nothing, that just had their businesses cut out from under them because of some jackass on high shutting down the whole thing, right? So the business that they had worked for years is gone. And I don't mean violently, like in a lot of places like Wisconsin and Minnesota and Portland and so forth, but the fucking place got burned down by these peaceful protesters. I'm thinking about this, like they can't open because men with guns and clubs and masks will come in there and tell them that they have to shut their business down because they didn't follow the mask law or whatever it is, or blah, 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 or they're not essential, because anyway, so you understand. But what I'm saying is, so yeah, with your unlimited credit, you help people like that, right? Maybe you help somebody get treatment that needs treatment. Maybe you help somebody, whatever, right? If you have unlimited credit, what? Okay, and see, you need to be able to access that unlimited credit. You don't know how. And it's, again, above my pay grade. And I'm certainly not going to go down that road because too many of you will abuse that. And I can tell when your first order of business is to get out from under the horror of Babylon, right? Not to enrich yourself. Your first order of business is to secure your inalienable rights. Your unalienable rights. The first thing you do is tell them that you are a man and a woman, or a man or a woman, not to tap your bonds, not to try to take money from the system, not to try to tap into that credit. The first fucking thing you do is tell them that you are a man or a woman. And then you secure your rights. And then when you have a piece of paper that says, see, this is just letting them know, this is just giving them notice, right? Lawful notice. And understand the difference between legal and lawful. That doesn't say legal notice, that says lawful notice. When you give them lawful notice, you should be able to give them a piece of identification, which I don't have yet, just to be clear, that tells them, that reflects the fact that you are a man or a woman, not a trade or business, not a name, right? Okay. So man or woman, you need to secure that. And then you don't have the arguments on the side of the road like I just had. I didn't really have an argument. I just said, the order is illegal. You know it. So if the order is illegal and you're enforcing a legal order, what happens? And the cop actually stepped away from me, leaned up against his car and said, I've never enforced one of these orders and I don't agree with these orders, but I get it. You're in an impossible position, right? I mean, they put these poor men in impossible positions, but they know it. They know in their hearts that they are not, that they're violating their oaths. In this state, at least. In other states, we got problems, people. Sheriffs and police officers, from what I understand, because I have another friend that's a good, like I said, he's that guy's been in the sheriff's department like 25 years. He's a sergeant now. And sheriffs know sheriffs, right? Radio DJs know radio DJs, doctors know doctors, dentists know dentists. I mean, people know each other in the same trades. They tend to rub elbows and talk to each other and have trade journals and phone calls and so forth. And what the guy is saying is that, yeah, sheriffs are quitting on the wide, right? Just fuck it, I'm out. Okay, we kind of sort of need them sheriffs. Do you want to do it yourself? Do you want to walk around with a gun? Okay, so we kind of sort of need them sheriffs. We kind of sort of need those police officers. We kind of sort of, right? Okay. And they're quitting on the wide because they're being placed in impossible positions. Impossible. Trying to do their job, just trying to, right? Because most of these guys, like I said, most of these guys are good men that understand the need that, yeah, somebody's got to kind of sort of keep the peace, right? They're not, I mean, a lot of the guys that I knew as a child, they weren't law enforcement, and they're not enforcing law. They're enforcing rules and orders and statutes. But law enforcement, peace officers, they consider themselves peace officers. Like just recently, they were doing the peace officer wild thing where we had Trump supporters and Antifa guys here in Maui, a very small amount of Antifa guys, but very vocal and somewhat violent, next to, and just put themselves in between. Dared anybody to do any fucking thing. Trump supporters weren't going to do anything. They were being happy children, waving flags and good-looking women and old, anyway. And then the Antifa guys were just angry. Fuck Trump and fuck you. Anyway. And cops just put themselves in between the two. And there was no action. Nothing happened, right? No fighting, no belligerence, no nothing, right? And I know a lot of guys, and I talked to a couple of the, right? I'm not afraid of police officers. They have the thing, never speak to the police. All right, fine. What if they're your friend that you grew up with since you were fucking 4 years old? Anyway, a lot of these guys are saying that, yeah, I'm not going to speak for them. And I'm not going to mention any names, but Maui cops. And they're like, yeah, because I would like to go over and beat the fuck out of the Antifa guys. And so would they, right? But that's not allowed. Okay. That's stepping off your square, causing violence to another or causing them, right? How many times have I talked about the square? And I will tell you, you need to trust, right? And most of you guys don't have any faith. But if you do have some faith, then you need to understand that if you're on your square, they can't touch you. Right? And if you stay on your square, you will have protection. So don't disturb the peace. Stay on your square. Don't cause anybody harm, even if they're Antifa fucks that deserve a punch in the head. No. Right? Unless they punch you, then you have a right to defend yourself. But other than that, don't cause anybody harm. You don't initiate harm. So I tell my boys, right, when they were in school here, and we got rough schools here, right, is that you, right, right, cause no harm. But, you don't start shit, but you don't take shit, right? These guys want to start trying to bully you, then you need to stand up. And both of my sons had a reputation for, especially my younger boy, right? He would take it and take it and take it. And then when it finally got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore, now you're in trouble, right? Anyway, and that's from an early age. And now they're getting to be men, right? The older boy is going on 16, right? And see, when he's 18, there's some paperwork that he's going to send in. When he's 25, he's out from the Whore of Babylon because his mommy pledged him. So we're going to honor that pledge, right? But only until 25, and then we're out, right? And she never should have made the fucking pledge in the goddamn first place. Anyway, don't disturb the peace. Don't cause anybody any harm. Don't cause anybody any loss. Don't go running around breaking windows and starting fires. For fuck's sake. Why is that even a... Anyway, and then the last thing is no mischief in your contracts. Right? And see, these naughty people, oops, what did I just do with it? They have mischief in their contracts. I'll put it over here someplace. Oh, right? This is a mischievous contract right here that is designed to try and trick you into thinking that into signing a piece of paper that says you are a defendant. Now, you signed it and said that you were a defendant, and you don't have to sign this thing. They tell you you don't have to sign this thing. You don't know how to endorse it properly. If you read this carefully, it says no contract, right? And then I put a stamp on it, which I don't have handy. Oh, yes, I do. Right here. Red pen, red ink, no contract. You and I don't have a contract. You may not act on me as a man. See, and when I have a document that reflects the fact that I am a living man, not a trade or, oops, took it down already. Anyway, not a trade or business. All right. And then when they see this, when they see I stamped it, do I have a piece of paper I can put this on? Yes, I do. How about that? Perfect. How's it? This is great. save this. This was a shit ton of fun. You want to know what? Right? Who would you rather be? The Antifa guys and the Biden guys that are hating Trump, and they have no freaking policy other than nationwide lockdown and everybody wears a mask and beholden to China. This is what it was. It was a Manchurian takeover. But in Hawaii, it was freaking awesome. You want to see hot chicks in bikinis? Yeah, this was the place to go see hot chicks in bikinis, right? Milfy hot chicks in bikinis, right? And anyway, and some young, not milfy, right? I mean, like young women. But yeah, Republicans over the blue-haired, tatted up, fat. Ugh, anyway, all right. So I just go put this on here like this. All right. So what does that say? That's what this says. And notice it's in red. What does that say? It says I don't want to contract with you. It says I didn't waive any fucking rights. Right? Not a goddamn right. Every fucking right that I'm entitled to, I am preserving that. Okay, and guess what? As a state citizen, you have like unlimited rights. Okay, so you need to understand, and that's what I put there with the family guardian stuff, the difference between what you think you are, which is U.S. person, and what you want to be, which is a man born on the land in a state, which makes you a state citizen, which makes you a United States national, which makes you a American, right? Which makes you an elector. Instead of you signing up to be a voter, you want to be an elector, and there is no form to sign up to be an elector. You have to do a certain process and let them know that you are living flesh. Okay. But my point being is that if you are here, that is an impenetrable fortress. Right? They have no statute that can affect this. In fact, I should have had those pages up that talks about the fact that, actually, maybe I do. Hold on. I might be able to read that to you. Did I say I was quitting at 107 and now it's 121? Hold on a second here. Oh, this is all about jurisdiction. Oh, no, I know where it is. It's on this one. Hold on a second. And I'll read you the quotes again. There you go. Yep. All right. So let's not talk about the City of London. Let's not talk about the Magna Carta, but you should probably read about the Magna Carta because the Magna Carta was the beginning of a lot of this. And then understanding the law of the land and the crown and all of that happened. But the idea is that here's the various bankruptcies and the bar. Yes, the bar guys are naughty. The members of the bar, they came here and brought us martial law, made us think that those courts are de jure when they're in fact de facto. Anyway, we've got problems, and people are starting to wake up to the fact. And see, this is the thing: the more people that know a thing, the more people that know a thing. And then you need to know about Unidroit. I've talked about that before and put that in. All right, so no, that's not the place where it is. But we just understand state citizens are, this talks about your right to travel and all kind of stuff. But wait, I'm scrolling through this long, how many pages is it? Should I just post it over here? Is it a PDF that you can get to? I think it is. All right. I put it here. There you go. Delegated authority. Understand about that concept, right? Where does the authority come from, and can you delegate it? A corporation called Federal Bureau of Investigation has no delegated authority. That doesn't mean a damn thing because they got the guns and clubs, and if they come to your door and they're FBI, you better fucking pay attention and know what the hell you're talking about. Let's see here. Because once again, there is, you guys think there's justice. There isn't any. And second off, just because you're right doesn't mean, as many people have figured out, you go to court doesn't mean you win just because you're right. Period. All right, I can't find it. But anyway, state citizens, because I'm looking for it is the reason why I can't find it. This is all about authority and so forth. So where's the one about state citizenship? Yeah, all right, fine. It's not that. Is it on this one? Yes, it is. It's going to be here, I bet you. And this is about jurisdiction. The law requires proof of jurisdiction, and you can challenge jurisdiction at any freaking time. But the idea is that you need to do all of this stuff ahead of time. Don't do it after the fact. Get your stuff together, start reading this stuff, and then send in your paperwork. And keep your paperwork brief, simple. Right? The only Congress shall have the power to depose and make all needful rules and regulations regarding the other property belonging to the United States. Right? Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution, Clause 2, just says that they have authority and jurisdiction over property of the United States. When you got pledged on that birth certificate, you became property of the United States. See, there's another, again, calling thing, same thing, many different things. The term citizen in the United States is can I not speak English suddenly? Analogous to the term subject in the common law. So you understand that if you think that you are a U.S. citizen, a U.S. person, you have given up all manner of rights. And you have probably contracted, and you don't know that you contracted, that you signed documents that tell them that you are you are chattel property, basically. Okay, so am I not going to be able to find this? Only because I'm looking for it. But anyway, find out about the common law. That's another thing. Right? Because they're going to try to do, and you don't mind maritime, and you don't mind admiralty, if you understand it. Okay. No. Martial law, more about martial law. War crimes, we're not going to get into that. We are military occupied. That's absolutely the case. This is a place that has been taken over by the military. That red cross on your flag will tell you generally that, yeah, you've been taken over. But the stars and bars, that's a war flag. That is not the civilian flag. That is our battle flag. Sedicate trust, I don't want to talk about that. Ooh, contracts, you didn't know about the quasi-contracts, and you signed them. So you need to rescind them. How do you do that? You write a piece of paper, or you write down on a piece of paper that you are revoking their jurisdiction, or not their jurisdiction. You can challenge their jurisdiction. You're revoking their power of attorney. And that's like, you can bestow your power of attorney, then therefore you can take your power of attorney back. And that's what you're basically going to do. And then I was going to read to you, except now I can't find it, the definition of United States, or excuse me, state citizen, and the fact that the state citizen standing on this square, if you're not doing anything, there is no statute that can, if you haven't caused any damage, you haven't caused any harm, you haven't caused anybody any loss, you're not doing anything naughty, you're not making noise, if you're just sitting there, they don't have the right to approach you. Right? You're not doing nothing. Wasn't doing anything. So then they'll say like, oh, well, show me your ID. Well, show me your ID. Right? You want to contract with me? And you got to be able to stand your ground. Because I guarantee you, 2 times now, if I wouldn't have stood my ground, I would have had a ticket for multiple thousands of dollars that I would have had to go dig around in court with. Instead, what's the better thing? Stay out of court, right? I know so many of you guys, well, maybe not this crew, but I know so many guys that they're dying to get in the court. Like, why do you want to go to court, goofy? Right? You don't want to be in there because now you're on their ground. Now you're standing in their territory, as it were. Yep, I didn't find it. All right, fine. But anyway, there is it's in there someplace where basically go find out about the rights of the state citizen, which are basically unlimited. So you want to have those rights, the man or woman. And the simple concept that these people cannot, let's talk about rights. The simple concept that these people cannot diminish your rights by statute. Okay, and the simple concept that if you are a state citizen, that is different from U.S. person. But, you know, you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you are, you have the right to breathe air, right? Doing it right. You have these things that are right, and then those are considered rights. right? You have the right to travel, right? If you're doing this, you're doing it right. You have rights, right? Rights harm no other. You may not exercise a right that harms someone else. There is no such thing as a right that harms someone else. There is no such thing as a right that causes people loss. You do not have the right to disturb the peace. You do not have the right to do mischief in your contracts, right? But I mean, right? Okay, these things are called rights. Okay, you have certain you can do it two ways. There's two different words here that you need to understand: the unalienable rights and the inalienable rights. Right? You cannot alienate these rights. You cannot lien these rights. Oh, yes, they can. They have secret liens and secret contracts and secret agreements that they're never going to show you. So you need to get rid of the straw man. And see, they don't recognize the term straw man. They might recognize the term in legis, but don't use their Latin because that's the language of the dead, and you ain't dead. All right, so, but they consider you dead and lost at sea and an infant of unknown origin. That needs warding from the state. And a lot of times your actions generally say that, yeah, they're not too far off the mark that you need warding because you can't fucking seem to keep the peace and protest peacefully and gather people, right? You have the absolute right to get together in groups, wave flags around, talk story, have fun, right? But you don't have the right to wave your flags around and then go start breaking windows and burning shit down. You don't have that right. That's not a right. Okay. I mean, I don't even know why that's even a thing. And if somebody tries to burn your shit down, you have the right to protect your property. And they're trying to tell you that you don't have the right to protect your property. And that you don't have, and you know what property you also have? Your own property, this thing, right? The thing you inhabit. You have the right to protect that. That's called self-defense. Okay. But the point being is that I'm not going to go too much further down the rights road, but you have certain rights. But you don't have rights if you sign them away. You don't have rights if you don't know what those rights are. But the idea that John Quincy, or let's just go with John Q. Adams. And in Australia and other countries, it is this way. It's this, and then the last name is often in all caps. That's not how it is in the United States, but I've seen certificates where the last name is in all caps. And this is the Christian name. All right. This right here, again, is a name. It's trade or business. This is not the thing that has unalienable rights. This is not the thing that this is the thing that is subject to United States corporation. Okay. You think that you and this thing are the same thing, but it's not the same thing. The name of the game is not to be the same. The name of the game is to extricate yourself from underneath this thing, right? You have children that can do it as soon as they're 25. If you signed out, right at 18, they give them notice, and at 25, they're absolutely out. No more bonding. So yeah, and from 18 to 25, you might put your children through college, as it were, because it's going to take a while to read this stuff. And just the links that I gave you, how long will it take to study that? And then they should have been taught this in high school, rules of grammar and understanding, elements of style and so forth. See, I was fortunate. I went to a school where they taught us grammar. We had to diagram sentences. Oh my, yeah. The idea that we got an education on how, right? They understand. It was not new to me that that's one word, right? If you look on all the documents I get from courts and stuff like that, state of Hawaii. Bah, even a kindergartner is supposed to know. You need that. Otherwise, that's one word, that's one word, and that's one word. If you want it to be a thing, one thing, you got to put those hyphens in there, which is why people, like I said, a lot of people do that, and then that, and put their last name like that. Or maybe it's like this. Whatever. Doesn't particularly matter, but the put the hyphen in there, right? So when you get a passport and so forth, where it says first name, it's going to be this and this, and then last name is going to say Adams, and then middle is going to be blank. Christian name. No one comes under the Father except through me. Maybe those words don't mean what you think they mean. Right? But the Christ Jesus told you, right? Christian name. Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't find that stuff about state citizen, but the idea being, oh, and you might want to take a look as I close, and I'm going to wrap up here. You can find this, not too hard to find, right? Understand why that's on here, the part about risk management, because you don't want to ambush these people. You want to give them notice. You want to give them lawful notice. Gentlemen, give notice, right? Fucker ambush, right? You don't want to ambush. And see, I was guilty of being a fucker because I didn't turn some stuff in to the very last minute, and that's just me being a procrastinator, and that was considered an ambush. They didn't like that because they should have had some time to take a look at my documents, because court was supposed to be that day. Anyway, so you give notice, advance notice, at least 10 days in advance, but preferably 90 days in advance. Understand that that means you're just reserving your rights. You don't waive anything. Okay, but problem is you actually have waived some rights by signing certain documents. So you need to rescind those signatures and revoke those powers of attorney and let them know in advance. And then they're going to come back and they're going to give, right? And then men are going to come say hi. They want to see your original documents. They want to talk to you and make sure you're not a crazy person that's going to take this unlimited credit and fucking do stupid shit, which a lot of people do. I'm not going to mention any names, but I know a lot of different people that they have come out, as they say, and I didn't realize that they had come out because non-disclosure. And yeah, they got all kind of cars, right? Really? How many cars do you need? I need like a car. I don't need 5 cars. I used to have 2 cars. I used to have a fun sports car and then my station wagon, which was, used for like a pickup truck. And then I had my fun Corvette. And got rid of the Corvette because every time I started it, my babies cried. So, because it was loud. I wasn't a regular Corvette. I had it souped up and stuff like that. But how many cars do you need? Right? Okay. So these guys are having every kind of, Denali's and Lamborghini. Really? How many houses do you need? Can you sleep in more than one bed at a time? All right. Your countrymen are suffering right now. Many of them are suffering like they've never suffered, and we hate to admit the fact that there are hungry people in this country. We're the wealthiest nation in the world. No, there are people that need feeding. So you use your unlimited credit once you come out from underneath this whore to start, right? Because if you're a fucking Christian, goddammit, you people are supposed to be known for your good works, not known for telling people what to do. You can't fuck that person. No, you can't do this and you can't do that. No. That wasn't your fucking job. Judgment was not yours. You've been told 100 to Christ told everybody told you. Judgment is not yours. Vengeance is not yours. What's yours? Try to ease the suffering of your fellow man. Service to others so that you can serve self. That's your job. Right? And I get so tired of the Christians that are telling people who they can fuck, how they gotta drive, right? They gotta do this and they gotta do that, and the Christians would say, "Oh, you can't do that," right? Fine for them, right? You can't have an abortion. I'm not 100% like in the 9th month. Yeah, that's crazy talk. By the 9th month, no. But you want to take the morning after pill? Take the morning after pill. Right? You're sure you don't want to conceive, and you're not sure if that protection worked, or maybe you didn't use protection or whatever. Then get the morning after pill. Even Ron Paul didn't have a problem with that. Remember, Christians will try to tell you, "Oh, no." And besides that, you got nothing to fucking say about it. Here's your job: if that person has a baby, feed the damn baby. Right? Because I know women personally on this island that decided not to have the abortion, and then they just got it from their church and their others. Right? Oh, you didn't get married, blah, blah, and all kind of judgment there. Right? Fuck all y'all. Right? Feed that baby, right? Make sure that woman has a place to lay her head, right? That's your job. Okay, so you get the unlimited credit. You're going to help these people out that, maybe they have committed sin. All right, so what? That doesn't mean you don't feed them. That doesn't mean they deserve to suffer. That doesn't mean that their children, who are absolutely fucking innocent, deserve to suffer or no hunger in their belly. when you have the ability to help. Okay, I'm not even gonna. I'm done with that part. But I mean, for fuck's sake, people. And like I said, when I was a child, just coming out of that, right? When I'm talking about a young child in the '60s. Christians were fucking known for doing good works, right? Not for telling people what to do. I beat that horse to death. I'm done with it. But right, stay on your fucking square and do what's right. And you know what's right. This is the other thing. In your heart, you know what's right. You know the difference between right and wrong. You know that this election is being stolen. And many people don't care because they got Trump derangement syndrome to the point where cheating is fine. It justifies the means, right? Do not hang around with those kind of people. Right? They're not your friends. Those are not the people you want your children hanging around with. Right? These are bastards. These are cheaters. These are scum. These are filth. This is excrement. And if you fucking hang around with excrement, you're going to get shitty. So it's not one of those things where, oh, well, no, after the election's done, we're going to go back to being friends with people that voted for pedophiles. No, I'm not. No, I'm fucking not. And when they realize what they've done and they try to come back and apologize, well, if you're a good person, you'll accept their apology. Not all of us will. Okay. Am I an hour and 40 minutes in? Yes, I am. I said I was going to quit at 1:07, and it's now 33 minutes later. Let's see. Yeah, never register your guns. Correct. Yeah. I know. I can't find it, dude. I can't find it, or I would post it. But anyway, there's a bunch of stuff about state citizenship. Family Guardian has a crap ton of stuff about state citizenship. These guys have stuff about state citizenship. Many people, Patrick Devine has figured out, yeah, that's what you want to be. You want to kill that trust. You want to let them know that you were born in one of the several states and that you ain't a U.S. person that has signed away all of those rights, and that right, and you ain't a Jew either. Well, maybe you are a Jew. If you're a Jew, then that's a whole other thing. But if you're a Christian in a Christian nation, this is the Talmud right here, right? UCC is Talmud. UCC is the Jewish law, and that's the thing. See, Judeo-Christian, and I remember Carl and a couple other people talking about the fact that you have the ability to forgive and be a Christian, and you have the ability to hold to account using the Judeo-Christian concept, using the law of the Jews, using the UCC when it comes to contracts. Right? And you can take your contract to the point where you actually hold to account and maybe even get retribution. Right? But you don't want retribution. You want restitution integrum, right? Integrity, restitution. Right? Let's read that here. Do I have that here? Yes, I do. Oh, did I pull the page thing out? No, I didn't. There it is. All right. Andersons. You need blacks. You need Bouviers. You need the most recent ones, and you need to know what the damn words mean. All right. Where was I at? Restitution integrum. Rescinding the contract or transaction so as to restore the parties to their original, right, before all this shit happened, their original positions. Right? If in maritime law, that has a slightly different meaning. It's like two vessels collide, and whoever's at fault, like you ever see that one where that freaking, it was a destroyer, and he ran into a freaking cruise ship. The captain of that destroyer, one, he's probably going to lose his freaking commission, and two, they're responsible for restoring the cruise ship to its original condition before the collision happened. Anyway. So in court, when your vessels are there, right, you want restitution in integrum, but you don't want, right, restitution is different, or penance is different than revenge, right? You're making it right. You're not causing a wrong. You're not causing harm. You're staying on your, oops, I erased it. You're staying on your square. And right, if they come to you and have caused you harm or damage or loss or mischief in their contract or disturbed your peace, you can get restitution for that if you need it. Right? But a lot of times you just let it go. Just fucking let it go. As Patrick Devine has talked about this, Jonah Bay has talked. A lot of different people have talked about this. Because a lot of you guys, you want revenge. You don't want restitution. You want revenge. Revenge is not restitution. There's a difference. So yeah, and again, Christians don't want revenge. Christians have been taught from the time they were babies to forgive trespasses against you as you forgive trespasses, right, against us, and you forgive them their trespasses. Right? That's Lord's Prayer. That's basic. And that's, right, Hail Mary. I mean, the idea is that, they've been fucking with you. Yes, they have absolutely. Yep, they've been screwing with your estate. They've been writing bonds on you year after year after year. They've been doing all kind of naughty stuff, and you're going to let it go. Right? And from this day forward, right, what's in the past is in the past. You cannot change the beginning of the story, right? You can figure out where you are, and then you can change the ending, but you can't change the beginning. It's already happened. That's pretty basic, isn't it? I mean, that's am I over here speaking crazy talk, right? Okay, so where you are now, figure out where that is, and then you can go forward. So how that computer working out? Pretty fun. We just got it. We just got that brand new computer, like I said, and it did. It took us 3 tries, and on the 3rd try, see, quote unquote, Lord works in mysterious ways. 2 scammers on eBay, and then a young man that's walking, well, not walking distance, but certainly 5 minutes traveling distance in a car, had a computer that he thought was going to be one thing, and then it turned out to be another thing, and then he turns out to be a console gamer, and he thought he was going to use this thing to play games with, and he tried it out, and he didn't like it, and then it's just sitting there, and it's a brand new computer that he's not using, and he knows as time goes by, like this thing that I'm on now, this computer cost like $5,700 when I bought it, right, way back in the day. This is the super duper MacBook Pro with the screen. Okay, now you can get one of these for like $600, right? Okay, same thing with this computer. He paid $15. I don't know what did he pay for it, $14.50 for it, and we picked it up for $9.50 because he knows that he waits another few months till the beginning of next year, and he is going to have to pay even less for it. Really, how much honey are you going to put in there? Anyway, basically having honey with some tea in it. Anyway, the idea being is, and take it outside, for God's sakes. Can you see that I'm making a video? Kids nowadays. Anyway, the idea is that it worked out best for everybody because that guy sells us a super duper really cool computer for $500 less than what it would have been in the store. My son wins, he wins, everybody wins, right? So he doesn't just have the computer sitting there. All right, so this is the point of that story is you might want to sit back and understand the universe might know what's going on. We asked for a computer, right? We decided, mentalism, right? Step 1 in the Hermetic principles, in our mind, we decided, we're homeschooling. It would be cool for us to have multiple computers instead of having to share computers and him just being on his phone and stuff like that. It would be cool for him to have his own computer where he can now go. MIT has all their courses for freshmen online. So does Stanford, so does Cornell. I mean, honey bunches of colleges. You can go take college courses online now from all the big boys. So physics and chemistry and Sapolsky at Stanford is on there. Robert behavioral science and social study and all of it. Constitutional law. You can have them and you can see how they teach it to you. Anyway, interesting to go sit through some of those classes. But it's free. They're not going to give you the degree, but it's free. So now he has that computer. Now he can type stuff, right? And I still make him do handwritten. Where did he put that? Shoot. He wrote me a handwritten report on the Gulag Archipelago. And he did not like it because, again, if you go read the Gulag Archipelago, and that's another thick book. I don't have it around here handy. I'm sure he has it out there. But anyway, he made me a book report on it. And why? Because now he sees that, yeah, this is not new. This is nothing new. That was the same thing that is going on now already happened in Russia, already happened in Asia, already happened. And they're just doing it again. But because we sheep are so fucking ignorant and that we go to school for sometimes 12, 15 years and never study any of this stuff, never see how the other guys do it. But they always use their authority to, right now, like I said, now I'm at the point where they want to try to write me tickets for not wearing a mask, for breathing air outside my house, right? Because the orders actually tell you, right? And they're orders and rules. They're not laws. No legislature has voted on this. It has not been passed. It has not been recorded. They don't count. And you will see, again, I guess I've said before, I'm repeating myself here. They've already overturned them in multiple states. There's judicata. And see, then there's this other thing, stare decisis. I've talked about this also, right? It's already been decided, right? You have inalienable rights. Now, nothing I'm talking about here is brand new. The reason why it's brand new to us is because do you think these fucking bankers are going to educate us on how to get out from under the system? The answer is no. No, they're not. And not in college and not in a special court. No. They're not going to teach us anything about this or, even just that. They don't, right? Like I said, I was taught this, but overall, the average person doesn't understand even the simplest thing, hyphen. The little words are the important words, as it turns out. You're at law, an attorney at law. You're in a court at law. You're not in law. Anyway, just little things, just tiny, and you start to understand, right? And just like I said, my cup was too full. I could not understand, and I put them up there, the family garden stuff about being a non-resident alien. That's crazy talk. Oh, now I understand. Because I'm on the island of Maui. I am not in District of Columbia. I am not part of United States Corporation. I am not U.S. person. I am man. Right? You got to talk like a caveman. Me, man. You not man. You corporation. In order for corporation and man to have any kind of business, you got to either turn me into a corporation or we got to have some kind of contract. So what do? They turn you into a corporation. They make you the trustee. They make They make this guy the trustee of your trust, and you think it's you. You can't be the trustee and the beneficiary at the same time. So you got to fire this trustee, right? Because this trustee, all right, and then I'm going to quit. I've done this before. And I make these things also for my own benefit because I go back and watch them and I realize. And then this is the other thing: do your own fucking research because I don't always get it right. I mean, if you watch videos, it's a what's the word I want? It's a journey, right? As you start to see, now I am finally at the point where I am ready to read some of the stuff from Family Guardian, and make sense of it. Because they're basically saying the same thing that Patrick Devine is. They're basically saying the same thing in a more wordy way of doing it. They're basically saying the same thing as Carl Lentz is saying. They're basically saying the same thing as all these different people that have come before. They're saying just in different ways and doing it with different agencies. I'm going to be as clear as I can be. Fewest words possible on the page is how you want to approach this. You don't want to baffle them with bullshit and give them 25 pages about jurisdiction and fucking 100 pages about state citizenship and all their freaking statutes and codes and laws and regulations and treaties from around the world. No, they already know this stuff. They're supposed to be learned men, especially if they're judges. You don't get to be a judge because you're a dumbass. Well, sometimes you do. But overall, you don't get up to that position in the legal business. You work your way up to that position, right? There are prosecutors that have been prosecutors for 20 freaking years and finally get a judgeship, right? And then there are judges that you start off as a lower court and then you work your way up in the judgeship, right? Okay, but you don't do that. You don't get there generally. Sometimes you get appointed just so you can be a fixer. But overall, these people know the law better than you ever will. It's what they do every day, 24 hours, or 8 hours, 10 hours a day, every day in court, figuring out, knowing the tricks of the trade, as they say, getting you to hang yourself with your own words because you used too damn many of them. Guilty, by the way. So what you want to do is over here is going to be, can I just use the initials at this point? Is going to be John Quincy Adams, right? Okay. And then over here, that's the trustee. And then over here is going to be the beneficiary. And that beneficiary is going to be John Quincy Adams, hyphen. And then over here is going to be the grantor, which is going to be the same as John hyphen Quincy, right? Family name Adams. Okay, look, they're all the same. They can't all be the same, right? That's a breach of trust. This person can be the grantor and this person can be the beneficiary. You can set up a trust for your own benefit, absolutely. But you can't be the trustee or it's not a trust. So what do? They make this your trustee. They make the in legis. So you got to fire this guy. They also, because they seem to own this guy, try to understand what's going on here. This one has a birth certificate, right? This one probably has a driver's license. This one probably has a marriage license. This one probably has, those are L's. L. That's a see. This one has all kind of contracts. Okay, so they can vote for proxy because in these contracts, they have adhesion to them over here. So now these guys can vote by proxy for this guy. In order to do that, they need to have, what do they need to have? One, they need to have contract. Two, they need to have power of attorney. So you revoke their power of attorney. They have the ability to use your signature. So you rescind your signatures. That's an RS, rescind signatures. And this can be local, state, or federal government employees that are going to manage your estate for you as a trustee. No, you need to cut that bond. What I'm talking about here is how to cut that bond, right? They have bonded you. So what this person has to do over here, actually the grantor, not this person, right? You're not coming from this position, you're coming from this position, although you'll notice it's the same. This person over here needs to fire this trustee. And by firing this trustee, you get rid of all these guys over here too. That's called reclaiming your estate. That's what you're doing. All right, there's paperwork to do this, but that's the understanding. That's as simply as I can explain it to you. And then, right, there's all the notes here. So then what these guys have done over here for this guy is they've written all kinds of bonds in this trust because you have unlimited credit. Isn't that what a bond is? It's the other side of the coin when it, right? Credits and debits, right? Bonds are basically bonds are evidence of debt. They're not credit. And see, that's another thing. And see, I have that as a benefit in my history is that I went to school. Well, I didn't go to school, but technically I went to school because you had to go to training and so forth because I was a principal at one point where I had securities licenses. So I understood this, stocks, bonds, securities. I used to sell them. So I had to understand. And then worse than that, I was because like I said, when I figured out what I was doing, I fucking stepped away from this war because I realized, the insurance and these might not be the best thing to do for my fellow man. I was enriching companies. I wasn't so much enriching my clients. But the idea being is that these guys will write bonds on this guy over here, right? Using their power of attorney and secret contracts and secret agreements, right? Through those adhesion contracts over here with your birth certificate and your driver's license and your marriage certificate and your registrations and so forth, all these different contracts that you sign using your birth certificate and using your social security number. And see, all of that is usually set up on an SSN. And what you want to do is get rid of that and get an EIN. And then you can set up all kind of bank accounts and all kind of stuff using your EIN, not your SSN. So this account, this whole thing is usually based on that 9-digit number, right? 123-12-1234. That's how you know right there, right? 479. Ooh, it's a 9-digit number. What's the number 9? 9 is the number of death. You dead. So what you want to do is collapse these trusts and then move it over using your EIN to the de jure government. And then you're going to have to let certain people know, like the Secretary of the Treasury, and see, not the Secretary of the Treasury Secretary in that capacity, that you want to be able to access that credit and that we need to move all this stuff. Okay, so you've been administering my estate since I was 25, and I have been negligent. And once again, negligence is ignorance. Ignorance is negligence, right? So part of being negligent is being ignorant. Part of being ignorant is being negligent. So you have been negligent. You did not tell them that you're a living person. So they administered your estate. You didn't tell them that you had parents. You didn't tell them anything. So they're just blithely going along, doing what's best for you as the ward. You are their ward, and they're trying to care for you by writing all manner of bonds and stealing as much from you as possible your whole life until you die. But anyway, they're trying to take care of you using that system that has been in place since fucking Roman times, and before that, the Babylonians and so forth. And at that time, back in the day, they actually used to tell the stupid slaves that they were stupid slaves. Now they don't tell the stupid slaves that we're stupid slaves. They just make you think you're free men. And you are. You're bonded free men, though. So what you need to do is break the bonds. So you're going to need to write the certain people, hi, I need identification so that I have the right to travel. And because people are going to be walking up to me now in this state asking me for identification, and I have a driver's license to show them. And when I show them the driver's license, that tells me, or that tells them that they are allowed to try to trick me and contract with me, if I will, and that I am a ward of their state, and that yeah, they have the right to tell me to put a mask on. Take care of it, right? They're not right. That chattel property. Okay, but they don't have the right to tell a man to do that. Okay, so what you want to do is, like I said, you want to fire this guy right here, because this guy right here is being voted. They have proxy votes, and you understand that concept. Let's vote by proxy. So you're going to vote by proxy to fire this guy, which makes it so that this trust no longer really functions, because it doesn't have a trustee that these guys can write stuff for, and also vote for by proxy, and make agreements, and use power of attorney to write bonds and blah, 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 blah. What you want to do is be able to get rid of this guy. And that guy you think is you, it's not you. It's your name. It's your trade or business. It's the thing that's on your birth certificate, right? You and that are not the same thing. You need to understand the legal fictions and see those links that I put up there. Now I get it, those legal fictions. All right. So then you need to let the IRS know these legal fictions are fictions, and that I am a man, and that I'm not a resident. I don't have any, and I did this already. I don't have any income from within United States. All my income is from without United States. And by the way, would you like to define income for me? They won't. I'm not. See, and now I need to take it a step further and let them know I'm not a person. I'm not the person you think I am. I'm a man. Right? This is my name. Right? This is who I am, though. Who I am is John Quincy. My name is John Quincy Adams. I have a name. I am allowed to, I am an authorized representative for that name, but that's not me. I'm authorized to represent that. And that's every time you write a check, you're basically, that's a proxy vote right there. You've decided for this person, you're authorized to represent that so much money should be given to XYZ auto repair, XYZ insurance company, XYZ grocery store. You write a check. I didn't have cash with me, so you're going to take money out, right? And then you need to know, once you start fooling around with that shit, you need to know 12 USC 411. Redeem for lawful money. Find out about that. Because every time you put money into this account, into this trust account, you're actually increasing the national debt. And you are considered enemy of state because of that, because U.S. persons are enemy of the Republic. Right? I'm not talking shit here. It sounds like crazy talk, but now that I have started to do all the reading, and now that I have started to take a look at the websites, and it can make sense to me now, because I was so mind-washed that it couldn't even get through. Now that I've read this book, now that I've read Chained to the Sky, now that I've read Fruits of Graft, now that I've read, right? Education, education, education. You got to educate self. Right? And the way you're going to get there is baby steps. And you're not going to... How do you eat elephant? One bite at a time. So what you're going to do is you're going to climb up here. This is what you want. You want freedom. That's not money. That's freedom. That's liberty. That's inalienable rights. That's being recognized as a man or a woman. That's not money. There is no dollar sign there. All right. So you're going to start down here in utter slovenly ignorance, because you have spent years in slave school just like I did. You don't know the meanings of the word. Words. You don't understand that they use many words for the same thing to confuse you. You don't understand. What does that even mean? All right. So then you get up here, and now you can get to the point where you know how to fire this guy, and you do it with the fewest words possible. Okay. There went 2 hours of your life. Watch it on double time speed, and then it's only 1 hour of your life. And with all my humming and hawing and digging through paperwork and stuff like that, it'll go by much faster. All right, people. It's a lovely, bright, hot, sunny day here on the lovely island of Maui in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which is not in Washington, D.C., which is not part of the territory or the land mass of North America, which is not, yeah, anyway, you get it. But the idea is it's a really big plantation around. You can have a lot of fun on this plantation. You don't even need to leave the plantation. Like I said, you can spend years traveling from state to state. I did, and it's a hell of a country. It's a big world. And oh, that's the last thing I wanted to say. We are no longer, it's no longer just the politics of planet Earth. It's no longer just us. It's no longer just humans on this planet. There's more. going on here now. Honestly, there is. But they have that prime directive where they don't get to interfere directly. They can't, because every time they have in the past, we have this thing where we worship and all kind of crazy stuff. Because, like I said, again, and I should put those links below. It's no longer some guy on the internet telling you that they got alien craft. They have absolute, not alien as in non-resident alien, as in foreign to the DC. I mean, things that weren't built on planet Earth. Wasn't me saying that. That's the freaking Department of Defense. The DoD has come out and said, yeah, we got alien craft. And as I've said, if you go to a very primitive society, this is magic. We take this for granted. That's just a fucking pen. There's nothing, right? But I mean, if you take a look at quill and feather and ink and stuff like that, this is fucking amazing right here. Same thing with, oh shoot, I don't have one. Oh, how about this? Oh, I got fun stuff on this. But, right? Looks like just, right? If you don't, you know what this is because you come from, right? But primitive in Borneo, no idea. And would have no idea how to get the information off of this. Well, guess what? There's shit like that on alien craft also. Same thing when it comes to like just a pen or just a lighter, right? I mean, the ability to make fire when you're, that's a hell of a, okay, we make fire no problem. Flick. How does that happen? And you got to know something about about butane, and you got to know something about flint, and you got to know something plastics and manufacturing. I mean, there's a lot of technology in that little thing. All right. And we take it for granted. Same thing with these people that have craft. Do you understand how far advanced their technology has to be for them to not be, you know how the closest thing to is far away. But here's the other thing, doing the mathematics, and I've done this on other videos, when you understand that there are probably, just doing the math, 80 billion with a B wet worlds out there that could support life like this. We used to think it was rare that we were the only one out there. Now you pretty much look at all the stars out there. I mean, there are so many stars with wet worlds, and you know that there's billions and trillions of, right, galaxies. Anyway, do the math. There's a lot of others out there. And now it's no longer a conspiracy theory or a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And just because, and see, they don't want to go there because that'll make it sound crazy. But let's say they had cloaking technology. Let's say they had the ability to phase in and out because they understand these dimensions better than we do. So they could be standing right fucking next to you and you wouldn't know it. Because I didn't touch anything. Because they're not in this dimension. Right? There's a lot more going on here, folks. There's just a lot more going on than you might think. And you aren't going to get ready to climb up to that point until such time as you can fucking just stay on your square and govern yourself. And that you don't need this other entity to take care of you for you. That you can govern yourself. That you can do what's right when the time to do right comes, right? When you can make the choice between right and wrong. And you just automatically choose right. Not the left-hand path, not the path that harms children, not the path that harms others, not the path that causes loss to others, not the path that disturbs others' peace, not the path that causes mischief in contracts with others. The path that does the right thing, the path that does not cause harm, the path that does not cause loss, the path that does not cause, does not disturb the peace of others. In fact, you may add to their peace and tranquility. Right? You may actually nurture them when they've been harmed. You may actually restore them when they've suffered loss. Right? Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? So, self, right? Comes down to being able to govern self. Gotta love self. Gotta forgive self. Gotta serve self. Only way to serve self, serve others. It's kind of sort of what I'm doing here. Kind of sort of. I'm just sitting on my ass talking story with you guys. But I mean, at the same time, I've had people come back now and they're starting to see, oh, this guy isn't fucking around. Wow, what the hell? I didn't notice over here. And now all of a sudden there's like all kind of stuff. Yeah, male or female, man or woman, right? Male or female describes an animal. A male animal or a female animal. No, man or woman. Okay, cool. I'm glad. See, that's my idea, is to get you to start thinking, right? Thinking is highly overrated. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I agree with that. I know I can't find it. When I find it, I'll try to find it and put it there. Yeah, absolutely, man. I didn't even know he had a. I thought he was gone, right? Because I know he just got pissed off, got off of Twitter, and fucking took off, right? But no, it turns out he has. And I went back and watched a crap ton of his videos, and he got some good stuff. So yeah, what this guy says, Thomas Whittor or Whitaker or whatever his name is, he's got some good vids, and basically he tells you about the blockchain, and basically he tells you, yeah, Trump set a trap, and yes, he did dig a trap for a lion or a tiger trap, and the Democrats fell in yet another trap. And every fucking time the media has told you it's one thing, it's turned out to be another. So why are you fucking even worried about it? Why are you crying? Why are you upset? Oh no, they actually wound up stealing the election, and now the pedophiles aren't going to get that. No. Just watch. And it's funny because on Facebook and a couple other places, nobody will wager, right? Media has called it for Biden. Nobody will wager. Let's see here. What? I don't know. Not entirely. I can put link, or if you look at them yourself, put DOD admits alien craft and see what comes back. Google will show you this. And in all this nonsense, they came out with this stuff, and it's kind of went right over, right? But no, not one, not two, not three, right? Like 7 alien craft. And they don't say if they're all this. They don't say what kind, right? But 7 different. Are they all from the same place? Are they from different cultures? Are they from different planets? They're just not from this planet, right? So, and it could be. I agree that they could be lying, and they could be just telling you that, yeah, we got alien craft. We don't actually have alien craft because they plan on doing some kind of crazy fake alien invasion thing, and that's seed to set that up. I've heard that conspiracy theory. I don't know what's going on when it comes down to it. But I do mathematics, and I lay on my back at night here on Maui and look up at the stars. And see, this is the other thing. I was amazed when I was traveling across the United States. There's a lot of places where you can't even see the stars at night. Right? I mean, that blew me away. All the big cities, because there's so much light pollution, that at night you look up and there's no stars. Here on Maui, though, it is a blanket of stars up there. And I'm telling you, do the mathematics. There are millions and millions, under the billions of planets like this out there. And chances are there are societies that aren't just as far along as we are, but have gotten to this point in what we consider our time, millions and millions of rotations around this sun ago. So where are they now? What kind of technology do they have? Are they even in this dimension? Have they figured out how to move through dimensions? I don't know. I have no experience. I can't tell you one way or the other, but it seems like, yeah, probably there are species or things that, and it seems that this 5-finger, multiple finger, head, arms, legs thing seems to be a thing. It seems to be a great way of manifesting in this prime material plane, whether you're on Earth or other planets. Don't know for sure, again, because never met an alien. Never seen one that's from off-world. Never seen an alien craft with my own eyes. Read about them in books, seen it in video, but, anybody can write anything, and don't believe everything you see on YouTube or any other tube, especially not the mainstream media tube. But the idea being is that chances are there's aliens. Just saying. What are the chances that them have come here to our little neck of the woods? I don't know. But if the world or if the universe is as teeming with life as we think it is, pretty good chance. And in fact, there's others that, the alien guys that I'll talk about, we ain't from here. This isn't our planet. We've been from or maybe there are some that are native to this planet, but there are others that have been brought here, RH negative people and so on. I don't know. But it's fun to speculate about. But in the meantime, I'm telling you, we've gotten bigger than just politics on planet Earth at this point. I'm pretty confident that is the case. So in the meantime, if you want to, what's the word they're using? Ascend. If you want to go further, you're going to need to get this paperwork together. You're going to need to be able to show them that you can govern yourself. You're going to need to show them that you're curious and smart enough to be able to figure some of this stuff out. Okay? And that once you figure it out, that you're not going to do bad things with the knowledge, because right, a dollar bill, you can use that dollar bill for anything you want, right? Millions of dollars, you can use millions of dollars to feed the homeless. You can use millions of dollars to build bombs. You can use millions of, right? Like I said, cocaine and hookers, you can use, right? Okay. So the money doesn't care. The knowledge doesn't care. They want to see what you do with the knowledge. Fair enough? Okay. Excuse me. Use the knowledge to get out from underneath the horror of Babylon. Oh, geez, I'm out. Just a couple of drops left in that. All right, because I've been talking for 2 hours and 15 minutes when I said I'd quit an hour and 7 minutes ago, so I quit right now. All right. 100 Monkey out. I'll probably make another video tomorrow, maybe. I got paperwork of my own to do. I got a lot of writing to do. I got to let people know. I'm going to print out a bunch of these. Actually, I'm going to take this to the copy store, and I'm going to print a bunch of these because I don't want to use up all the ink in my printer. And then on the back of that, I'm going to let some people know some stuff, right? Particularly like honestly, the risk management office. They don't seem to understand that there are people that have this knowledge that are coming to Hawaii that they're arresting, detaining men and women without lawful authority gets pricey. We have that's when you've gone across their oaths to uphold the rights that are protected, just common law rights. Those inalienable rights. Yeah, that Constitution that they're sworn to protect is supposed to do that. And writing rules and orders that circumvent that Constitution, it's not going to end well for this county or any other county. It's already not ending well for, you see the suits that are flying in against Whitmer and against Newsom and against whatever that guy's name is in Massachusetts and so on. All right, so anyway, you want to let these guys know. Hi, I'm a man, and if you mess with me, you're putting your county or your state, because there's a state office, there's a county office of risk management. I guarantee, I know that, go look it up. Risk Management Office, County of Maui. Risk Management Office, State of Hawaii. And you're going to let them know. Right? Hi, I'm a man in your thing, and if you fuck with me, there's going to be problems. Right? That's not how you're going to put it, obviously, but all right, okay. Name, address, and phone number of the bonding company, because they all have licenses and they all have bonds in case they screw up and go outside of their gubernatorial or mayoral license. They have bonds to protect them, because you're not going to sue the man or the woman or the office. You're going to sue their bonds. All right, risk management should know, because they're in the business of managing those bonds. And see, they got bond numbers. See, it's all right here. It's a nice thing. They got a bond number. All right, I'm so old. I'll tell you a last story and then we quit. Way back in the day when I was first learning to drive, I was probably 15 years old at the time. And we used to cruise in our cool cars. So this would have been like 1979, right? And so we had muscle cars and kind of stuff like that. Okay, this is the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. I got stopped for not driving, but not having my lights on. We were on Kahamano Avenue, and I forgot to turn my lights on, and there's lots of street lights and other cars and stuff like that. And so I didn't notice that my lights are on. Of course, the cop noticed that I didn't have my lights on, flipped the bitch, pulled me over, and wrote me a ticket for driving without lights. All right, before he wrote the ticket for driving without lights, he introduced himself as Officer so-and-so and right, flipped open his thing, badge on one side, ID on the other, right? The reason I'm stopping you is you were driving without lights. Okay. Have you got, now, may I see you, right? First, before he wrote me the ticket, and I was driving without lights, and it cost me $2 at the time. It was a $2 penalty, right? Now they got like any ticket, it's an $80 service fee, right? That's $80 right off the bat. And then they do the whatever the penalty is for the service fee. I mean, for the ticket or for the citation or whatever. Okay. So, but back then they didn't have the service fee, and it was a $2 ticket, and I got 1 point on my license because I used to have a point system here. That point system's out the window. But anyway, the idea is that before he wrote me the ticket, he identified himself. He told me what I did wrong, and then he proceeded to ask me for identification and driver's license registration and insurance, right? All of which I had. Like I said, he wrote the ticket out. Have a nice day, and he left. Right? Turn your fucking lights on, kid. I was 15 at the time. And I'll never forget it, because I was all impressed, because he pulled his badge out and he had the thing, right? Okay. I asked these guys 2 times now, you got an ID? They're wearing masks. They got guns. They got no ID, no clue, no fucking clue, right? Risk management should know that one of us is going to hit them for process violation, right? That's Fifth Amendment. And violations of process, yeah, right? Constitutional violations come with heavy and stiff penalties, so they don't do it, so that they uphold their oath. Now, if nobody ever calls them on it, who cares what the penalty is? So you got to stand there and I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to, right? Okay, because Maui is a small town. It's a small island. Right? They know where I live. I know where they live. You can't get away from them. You can't just pick up and drive away. You got to get on an airplane if you want to get out of here. So you may want to not be an asshole, and you may want to just be right. So I try to be kind with these cops. And they're cordial with me. I'm cordial with them. If you are an ass to them, I guarantee you they'll be an ass to you. And there is bad, and I guarantee you, I know for a fact, between some Hawaiians and some cops, there is some fucking bad blood. Try not to get in a position where you have bad blood with anybody, but particularly not law enforcement people. But, sometimes you can't help it because there is definitely the asshole cop. Now, here's the thing. On Maui, I can tell you, there's been a couple of asshole cops that couldn't live on this island anymore because, again, we live in a small community. And most of the cops here are from this community. Most of them have the concept of don't shame the last name. Most of them have the idea, let's do what's right. The guy that I talked to yesterday that was telling me that I had to put my mask on and stuff like that, when I pressed him on it, he said, I don't agree with these laws, but I got to enforce them. Like, you do not have to enforce unlawful orders, and you know it. And then we had a conversation again, and we talked a little more. And like I said, it was a cordial exchange. If I would have been like, fuck you, I'm not showing you my ID until you show me yours, blah, blah, blah. He fucking probably would have put me in the back of the car and take me down. Right? And what's the cause of action? The cause of action is I wasn't wearing a mask, which is a violation. It is a violation of their rules and orders. But to whom do those rules and orders apply? And jurisdiction and authority, you got to know something about all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you want to read all this stuff, but you don't want to sit there in your documents and put it all in there for them to read because they already know it. And then, like I said, the best thing that ever happened to me is a guy taking me aside and just saying, quit trying to fucking show these guys how smart you are and make them show you how smart they are. Right. And one of the things you can do, and you can put some attachments on and make them aware and so forth. But I mean, like if you cite Title 18 or whatever, you probably don't. I mean, you can cite the title, right? 18 USC, I don't know, 243 or whatever it is. I don't have all of those memorized. But the idea being is that, yeah, you put that in the title and you probably don't have to cite the whole law because they already know. Right. And you put that as an attachment, not in the document. Right. In the document itself, you're going to write handwritten using a pen, address, you put the date over here, you put your name over here, just like they told you in the thing. That's going to be an autograph. And then you're going to put your signature down here, not over here, not in the middle, on this side, because you're the creditor. You're this guy, right? And it's the opposite, right? Right? Okay, anyway, because over here is the debtor, over here is, right? Okay, and then you're going to put you're going to address it to whoever it is, those concerned, or dear Secretary Mnuchin, or whoever it is that you're writing to, dear Vicar General, right? Please inform the Pope, whatever. And then you're going to write as few words as possible. And this should be a legal size piece of paper, by the way, not this size piece of paper. This is just going to be a letter that I write to sheriff and police and so on. But on a legal size piece of paper, and then you're going to put the body in, and you're going to try and keep it under 3 sheets, right? And then you're going to try to write legibly and neatly. And if you're writing as chicken scratch, kind of like mine is, and see, I've been working with my boys, my older boy, because his writing was horrifying. And now, I wish I had a sample, you can read his writing easily. Now, the only thing is that he doesn't like to write by hand because he's slow. He writes neatly now, but it takes him a long time to make the letters. And see, we're going to work on him getting faster and faster at that. When I write quickly, I'm the guy that can read it. You probably couldn't read it. So what you might want to do is have a translation, right? Have it written out and printed on your document. Here's what the thing says. But if you're a woman with nice handwriting, or I have this one friend, his writing is freaking beautiful. I mean, it almost looks like calligraphy, and he just does it naturally. It's like these square box. Anyway, it's beautiful writing. So you use that writing that's legible. That absolutely. Kind of like the ballots and kind of like the other things, that is a signature in and of itself. That is a unique identifier in and of itself. And then you need to know these and this. And you're going to put that, because you're not going to put your foot on the thing. And what you're going to do is know how to endorse the document. And what you're going to do is when you write that stuff out, that's going to be given by your hand. And that tells them that you are a living man or woman. Get it? And then you don't need notary. And then you don't need to use their documents. And then you put all your numbers and all that kind of stuff in there. And like I said, you need to know what to say to who. And I don't cover that very well here because I believe that's above my pay grade. But you need to let the IRS know. You need to know, let the Secretary of State know. You need to, right, at least fire those guys. At least let them know that, and that's not hard to do. Hi, I'm revoking my power of attorney. Right? I had actually on 2 different occasions, I can think of times where there were people that were had the ability to sign for me because I had given them power of attorney, and I revoked it. Right? They weren't state agencies. They weren't government. That was back in the day when I used to do this kind of stuff. I mean, securities license, and when I rent. Okay. Anyway, and there were people in the office, that secretary and so forth, that could sign certain documents for me. And then another time when I used to work at the radio station, we used to have to sign affidavits. And if I wasn't there, I had given power of attorney because I was the operations manager to certain people underneath that they could sign some of those affidavits on my behalf. Right? Okay. And I revoked it when I fired them. Okay, same thing. You're going to fire these guys. They're not going to have power of attorney over your estate anymore. Okay, and you're going to put it in a document, and you're going to say, I revoke the power of attorney on this and that, and you don't have the authority to write on, right? Okay, and then you're going to put your account numbers and all that kind of stuff in there. You need your bankruptcy, so you need to let the trustee know, and that's why I put that trustee thing there. You need to let a judge know. You need to vote by proxy and kill that son of a bitch right there, because they're writing stuff for you. So once you kill this guy, they can't write for him anymore. Right? And they never had the authority to do it in the first place. They just assumed it. They just presumed it when you set up driver's licenses and birth certificates and all the licenses they had. So then they said through adhesion and secret agreements that, yeah, they could also write bonds and stuff like that for these guys. No, you're going to revoke that power of attorney, and you're going to do it by giving it by your hand, and you're going to be polite and cordial, and you're going to use as few words as possible. Okay. We done? I think we're done. What? Presumptions. Yes, exactly. Many, many, many presumptions. You're going to regret all of those presumptions. All right. There's a bunch of stuff here that I don't even know what the heck the guy's trying to say. All right. Anyway, have a good day. It's a lovely, lovely day, and it's only 3:00 in the afternoon. We can get out and do stuff. Still, like I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful day here on Maui. Hope it's nice wherever you are. It may get down to like 75 degrees tonight, so I'm sure it's getting cold where you are too. I'll talk to you guys soon. Educate yourself, educate others. Be of good cheer. Trump dug really, really big, deep tiger pits, and the Democrats are jumping in. Well, we're jumping in right up until I think Thursday, right? They hadn't quit cheating. You had to let them cheat in order to bust them for cheating. If they didn't cheat, then we couldn't bust them for cheating. So anyway, they're going to be busted. The media can say what they want. The media has been wrong every fucking time for 4 years. They told you about Russian collusion. Wrong. They told you about this. They told you about that. They told you about Stormy Daniels. They told you about Stormy Daniels' lawyer is going to be the man that Trump fears. They told you lie after lie. They told you Nexium was no big thing. They lied and lied and lied, and they're still lying. And the lies are not over, and they're gonna, right? Okay, but like I said, what you're looking at is the last desperate attempt of people that are royally and completely fucked. Trump fucked them, and they know it. And now there is full panic in DC. Okay, educate yourself so that you can educate others if need be. But most of the time, just spend the time educating yourself, and then lead by example. Don't tell other people what to do. Don't tell people how to do it, right? I give you just hopefully enough information, and if you're curious, you'll be able to walk down this path easily. Give you the books, give you the documents, give you fucking websites, give you all kind of stuff, right? And then you put it together and let it gel. And don't you dare, look before you leave. Don't you dare do anything that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Right? But don't let that give you analysis paralysis either. And then e pluribus unum, right? All of us together. I am not, anyway, e pluribus unum, right? They want us, they don't want this. They want this, so that we don't point the finger at them and accuse, right? And see, at the moment, I don't even have standing. I can't even allege fraud. I can't allege anything because I don't have standing in an international court because I'm chattel property of this fucking United States corporation. So until such time as I'm recognized as a man, I don't have I can't stand up in court and say, hey, but I will. E pluribus unum, Crime Stoppers. Talk to you soon.